Guys, I'm really excited to be here. Actually, this really feels like a dream. I think I dreamt about this last night. I think the presentation went better last night than it'll probably go today because it was unbelievable in my dream. But my name is Michael Zappia. How many people have met me before? Raise your hand. I'm just trying to get a... How many people have spent at least 10 or 20 minutes on the phone with me in the past week? Look around. No? I haven't talked to anybody. That's crazy. I could have swore I did. Anyway, so... wow, where to begin? First of all, I want to thank you all for coming out. Saturday morning, Christmas season, to get anyone to do anything is pretty incredible. So I'm just, give yourselves a round of applause, guys. I think it's great. And for some of you, and maybe all of you, maybe you're doing this because next Christmas is going to be unbelievable. I don't know how many of you are looking at this opportunity you're about to see here today. And if you're a guest and you don't know anything about it, we'll be sharing some things with you that you guys are just really, I think, going to be proud of. First of all, I want to let you know there's going to be no hype today. I'm very enthusiastic. Guys, can I ask a favor of all of you? Can I just be me? Yes. You be you, I be me. See that? No, that's not me. That's my son and me. Where's the you? So today is really all about you, the PowerPoint slide. No, the PowerPoint slide that's behind that. You got to just move that out of the way. I'm probably going to have to do this. I got it. This is why you don't two beautiful women behind the laptop. It's
No. Oh, there it is. I can do it now. I got you now. Play. Just hit play. There you go.
Thanks. Okay. Guys, this is all about you. So, where do I begin here? I've got so much to say. Okay, I'll start with me. First of all, a gentleman named Ryan drove in from Tucson, Arizona last night. Guys, give him a round of applause. Give him a round of applause like you mean it. So I'm not a hype artist, but I love energy, right, Angela? I love energy. So if you guys would be so kind, 50% of today's presentation is going to be us up here, and you're going to meet some beautiful people. The other 50% is going to be all of you. So if I say something that wasn't that funny, just laugh a little harder, make me feel better, make the next stuff feel better. But I love this stuff. But Ryan drove all the way from Tucson. I just talked to him 2 days ago. We got on a phone call. Within 10 or 20 minutes, we had a connection, and he said, I'm there, I'm in, I'm coming. And I've learned in this world that the people that travel the farthest are the ones that want it the most. Have you guys ever heard that before? The people that come the longest way. So Scott, you came from England, right? Is that right? See, that's Spain, but that's okay. Mexico, we'll get it. But I just, there's so many of you I can talk about and share how impressed I am by all of you. Those of you who are my partners in this business or our partners, this team we're building, I am just so impressed with the caliber of people that are being attracted to this movement right here called Üforia. So I'm just going to spend a little bit just to kind of tee up what we're going to do here today. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do so you all know what's happening. I'm going to bring up Hallie Gillen here in a moment. How many people know Hallie? Yep. Everybody in Vegas knows Hallie Gillen. She's one of the top realtors in town. I'll be bringing her up in a moment. Ron Williams, the CEO of this company called Üforia, is going to be here within the next half hour to 45 minutes. We have to play with his clock because he's coming from Washington, so we're going to fill in some holes until he gets here. You guys are going to fall in love with this man, so be careful, ladies and men. This guy is just this gentleman is one of the most unbelievable people I've ever met. So I'm just going to share a little bit about life right now. I woke up this morning. How many people woke up this morning and had a negative thought? Raise your hand and be honest. Anybody have a negative thought? So I rolled out of bed this morning, and there's so much to be positive about, right? And I woke up this morning, and I was kind of beating myself. Anybody beat themselves up? And I was beating myself up, and I did that for about 10 minutes until I got tired. And I said, I'm not beating myself up anymore. This is beautiful. This is going to be a beautiful day. And I instantly just shifted. And here's something I want to teach you. If you've never heard it before, it's one of my favorite things to teach, one of my favorite things to say. 1 + 1 = 2. 2 + 2 = 4. 3 + 3 = 7. And 4 + 4 = 8. Right? And you're my wife, and you're going to point out what I got wrong, huh? Okay. Thank you. So here's what happens in life. A lot of times we look at what's wrong with the situation. Would you agree? I got 3 out of 4 right. I don't know about you all, but I didn't do good in high school. If I came home with a 75%, my mom was ecstatic. 3 out of 4 is good. 3 + 3 = 6, I get it. but I only got one wrong. I think a lot of times when people look at a business or they look at an opportunity, look at a person to be friends with, you're always trying to find out what's wrong with them. Would you guys agree? Yeah. And this morning, even me who teaches this for a living, I'm a personal development guru. I love teaching. I love mentoring. I love speaking. I love writing. I'm an author. I want to give the world everything I can that I'm learning and give it back. How many people are like that? Good. That's a beautiful thing. That's what we're looking for. But I wanted to look at what was wrong with the situation this morning, Ryan. And then you know what? I thought of you. And I said, wow, Ryan just traveled 5 hours in the middle of the night to come to Vegas to hear from me. Shame on me if there's anything wrong with this situation today. Would you guys agree? And I thought about all of you guys working your tail off. Listen, we are on the ground floor of the next nutritional Microsoft. Write it down if you're taking notes. Anyone ever see that really corny picture of Bill Gates back in 1974 when he was sitting around the table with all the other guys from Microsoft? Did you ever see that picture? He was super neat, nerdy and geeky, and he had those glasses. And he was sitting there, and you're like, what a nerdy, geeky dude. Yeah, he changed the world. I truly believe, and one of the key words that I always talk about in this world, when you want to be successful in anything, you better believe. I truly believe that the man you're about to meet today, Mr. Ron Williams, is the next Bill Gates of the nutrition industry. I really believe that. Now, let me just ask you all really quickly. There's less than 100 people in this room here today. This is probably the biggest individual meeting that's ever happened in the history of this company called Üforia. It shouldn't shock you. The company's about 40 days old. But I just want to ask you all, just to kind of preface you for something really big here. If this really was the next big thing in nutritional technology, the next Microsoft caliber company, what would you do differently today, knowing that we're true? You don't have to answer it right now, but I just want to get you guys on the same page with me. I truly believe that what you're about to experience today is going to change your world. As a matter of fact, if you like sleep, leave now. Seriously. Who enjoys sleep? Anyone love sleep? Everyone should raise their hand. It might be time to go. Because I found out about this company on September 25th. I got a message from a friend named Travis, who I've got great respect for. Travis Flaherty, his name is. He's one of the best social media network marketers on the planet. And he reached out to me first to tell me about you. Not you, but that you. And he said, Mike, listen, I got something for you to see. He goes, I don't know if you're open, but if you're open to take a good look at this, I'll send you a video. And I made the mistake, Scott, of saying to him, I'm open. He sent me a 40-minute video. How many people have watched that 40-minute video? It was a video of Ron Williams, the CEO who you're going to meet today, and a guy by the name of Eric Worre. Anyone ever heard that name before? Yeah. Eric's the #1 trainer in the entire profession of network marketing. He agreed to be the trainer of this company from day one, since its inception. That's probably one of the biggest news flashes in the entire $182 billion industry, mind you. This industry is $182 billion in sales. I watched the video. I knew who Ron was. I knew who Eric was. And I decided that I needed to take a deeper look. And when I took a deeper look, I said, Travis, I need to meet the CEO. Now, I'd heard of Ron Williams. I don't want to get too much into his story now because I'll be bringing him up later. But I knew so much about this man being just the most incredible owner, CEO of a network marketing company. And I already knew that from the past. And I got on the phone with him in 45 minutes. I said, wow, I really like this guy. If you're taking notes, write this down. It does matter who you do business with. It does matter who you do business with. Anyone been in business with the wrong people? You make enough of those mistakes, you start to be really careful about the decisions you make. So speaking of that, who did I call? Someone I wanted to be in business with, Hallie Gillen. For over 10 years, me and this woman have been crossing paths. We've been friends. We've grown close over the years. Never as close as we are today, not because of Üforia. Even before Üforia, her and I were hanging out all the time. And I said, Hallie, I got something for you to take a look at. And she said, Michael, okay. I said, 6:30 Saturday morning. I think she hung up. I had to call her back. And she goes, it's not 6:30. I don't wake up before noon. I know, Hallie, but I need you to, can you come see this man with me? And she did. So I'm going to let her share the rest of the story here as I bring her up. So if we can, real quick, I just want to let you know a little bit about this event today. This was supposed to be a PathChangers event. I'm going to get into the story later as well, but I'm a path changer. This might sound weird to all of you, but I literally wake up every morning and I say to myself, I want to change someone's path positively and radically today. Is that a cool mission statement for the day? I coined that term years ago when a perfect stranger introduced me to this industry that you guys are taking a look at today. My whole life has changed ever since. I'm here also, that's my purpose in life. Do you guys know what a definite major purpose is? Raise your hand if you know what your definite major purpose is in life. So my definite major purpose is to change people's paths. Number 2, my why. Anyone know what a why is? Everyone knows what a why is? Now, does everyone know what their why is? Raise their hand. See, I think you got to know why you do what you do. And before, let's get the picture of Anzio if you can. I love Hallie, but she's not my why right now as far as what I'm going to tell you. But I do love her. She's part of my why. Do you know how to do it? So we'll be here till about 4 o'clock, guys, so just brace yourself. Hey, Burnaby? Yes. I blame you.
When my computer. There it is.
All right. So here's why I'm here, folks. See that little guy? He's going to be 3 years old in January. I spent most of his life away from him. Anybody ever been away from something you love so much? And period of time, there's nothing you can do about it? Anybody? So you guys are going to know the pain that I'm going to talk about right here. You'll hear it crackling in my voice. When he was born, him and his mother moved to New Mexico. We weren't in a relationship. And she had to do what she had to do. Ladies, you got to do what you have to do. Her family was there. The relationship wasn't really going well. We weren't married. When we got pregnant, we gave each other the, oh, you know what look? Like, what are we going to do now? We're not in a relationship. As far as we're not married, this is not going to be that type of relationship. And we just didn't want to do anything with that beautiful baby. I mean, I couldn't even imagine if he wasn't alive. But for the past, I'm not trying to make you guys feel bad, but for the past 2.5 years, almost 3 years now, only time I get to see him is when I make enough money to go take a trip to New Mexico to see him, which happens about once every 60 days. And if you've ever been disconnected from that thing that you love the most in this world, it is the most excruciating pain in the world. So I let you guys know that I believe this business here, this opportunity is going to bring me closer to him within a matter of 60 days on a regular basis. And if any of you have a burning desire, a definite major purpose in life, or a why, I think you're about to hear about an opportunity that can change that for you financially, or maybe you're here for the health benefits as well. So just want to share something personal with you now. I'm going to bring up Hallie Gillen. Hallie's a top realtor with Keller Williams. If you've been in Vegas for any period of time, you see her signs everywhere. 3 super gorgeous women sitting in a sign. They used to have guns, but you took the guns away. And they're called the Hallie's Angels. And one of the angels is right there. Stephanie, raise your hand, Stephanie. There's one of Hallie's angels. Give her a round. Yeah, give her a hand. And where's Haley? Is Haley here?
No,
She's not. What, you're not coming up yet?
Okay, I'm taking that microphone.
Okay.
My turn to talk.
Gotcha.
Is that okay with you guys?
So guys, she is one of my best friends in the world. She is an exceptional entrepreneur, and her story is going to blow you away. Take it over.
Thanks, baby. All right, can you guys hear me? Do I need to talk into my shirt, or can you hear me? All right, first of all, give a round of applause to Michael. He worked really hard to make sure you guys were all here. And I will tell you that nobody has the work ethic of Michael Zappia. I thought I worked a lot, and the man outworks me by like double. It's crazy how hard he works, but he's very passionate, and I love that. So how many of you guys have heard in the last 2 weeks about somebody who either has some kind of an illness, or maybe they just got diagnosed with diabetes or cancer, or somebody's got a parent with Alzheimer's? Anybody hear that stuff? Anybody hearing that stuff? Okay, so the reason that I'm here is about 4 years ago, I went on a fact-finding mission about myself. Things had changed in my life, and I went to a seminar, a 5-day seminar, and it was designed to help find out what my values were. And you kind of think that you know as a human being what your values are, right? Like I could ask you, JJ, what's a value that you hold very dear? One of your values. Integrity. Everybody agree, integrity is a great value, right? Give me some other ones. Tom, give me a value.
I was going to say integrity, so...
Something else.
Honesty.
Honesty. Thank you, Tom, from the back. That was great. Tom's a ventriloquist. Awesome. Anybody else? How about?
Self-respect.
Self-respect. Anybody else? Help me out.
Freedom. Loyalty.
Loyalty. Great. Freedom. What else? Give me some more.
Happiness.
Happiness. Lovely. I love it. Anybody else? Yes.
Hard worker.
Truth. Yes. Work ethic. Hardworking. Yes. So these, what was that? Kindness, from Tom. All right, Tom got one. Kindness, awesome. So the reason I'm asking you these things is I was asked to write down all the values that I held dear. And then it was about a 20 to 25 item list. And then I was asked to narrow it down to 5. Top 5 values. So things like loyalty, integrity, love, happiness, health, honesty. Hard to narrow, right? I mean, you're starting to find I was struggling to give them up, right? But I started to have to think about it. So they take you through this process, and the exercise goes something like this. what would your life be like without each one of these things? So you start to imagine, okay, what would my life be like without integrity? Well, I probably wouldn't honor my word, probably wouldn't have great relationships. Would I die? No, but it probably wouldn't be as good. So then we got to the one that I think now is my number one value, which is health. And the question came up, what would you do without it? You die. Literally, you wouldn't be here. Or you suffer greatly. So after about 3.5 days and about $10,000, I'm saving you guys a lot of money here, so listen up, take some notes. I came to the conclusion that health was my number one value. And then after health, and this is personal, this doesn't have to be yours, but this was just mine, I'm sharing with you, my next one was happiness. Because I thought, if I'm healthy, that's more than half the battle. But if I'm not happy, what good does it do me, right? And then after happiness, I thought, what's the thing that makes me the most happy? And that was love. So my top values after 5 days and $10,000 came out as health, happiness, and love, okay? Now, after you decide those things, you start to watch the way that you work in your life. So for example, how many of you heard that if you follow your checkbook, you can find out where your heart is? Look at what you're writing the most checks about, where you're spending your money, and that's where your heart is. I started looking at that.
I'm in love with the electrical company.
Oh, she's in love with Nevada Power. Okay, that is an opportunity for a solar salesman right there, okay? But anyway, the reason that I went through that exercise was I was trying to become more significant as a human being. I'm at the age now where it's not enough to just have money. If you don't have significance, then you really have an empty life. And if you don't have your health, it's hard to enjoy anything. So I'm looking for happiness, I'm looking for health, I'm looking for love. Don't say anything. Hold your tongue. I know there's a lot you can say to that, but those are the things that I want in my life. So I started to change the way that I acted. I started to put the things that were more priorities in line. So the first thing that I did is I went to a health mastery course, and I started learning about health. And then I did a live blood screen because I wanted to see what was going on in my body so that I could try to do as much as I could do to control what was going on in my health. Why? Because I spend a lot of time in the car with clients. When you sell real estate, you get to know people. They're in your car with you. They become friends. They become family. Sometimes they become more, but that's a whole other subject. And the reason that I say that is most of them were complaining about health. Either they had no energy, they didn't feel good. I have some water somewhere. Ange, can I have that water? So if they don't feel good, they can't enjoy things. Some of them, it was so hard to show them houses because they could hardly walk. I mean, some of these people are in their 60s trying to buy 2-story houses. Can I just tell you right now, write this down. Don't buy a 2-story house if you're in your 60s. Because unless you want to call me back in 2 years and I'm going to move you again, which is okay with me, but probably not very much in the integrity category.
Unless you're healthy.
If you're healthy, you can do it. You can do it, absolutely. However, ultimately, I'm going to tell you a secret. 1-story houses sell better anyway, just saying, okay? but the point of my story is this. I started watching where my money was going, and I was spending my money on health-related things because I had made that conscious decision that my number one value was health. Because I didn't want to be one of the stories in my car about my parents are struggling because one of my parents has Alzheimer's, or my husband has diabetes, or I'm worried about my friend who's going to have their leg amputated. Oh my God. Do you know that diabetes leads to amputism sometimes, or blindness? I'm like, if that doesn't make you put the fork down, I don't know what would. But sometimes it's not enough. So when Michael brought this conversation to me, I was really interested. I was like, a DNA test to find out exactly what my body needs? That's what I've been looking for. Let me ask you a question. A roadmap to the future health of your personal body. How many of you think everybody should have one, just honestly? Okay, so my first question was, how much is it going to cost? Because I was really concerned. I'm thinking, okay, I spent, my labs for my hormones were like $2,000, and that was with insurance. Explain that one to me, right? I don't quite get that, but there's another conversation. So I'm thinking it's got to be $1,000, but I'm prepared to spend it. Why? Because my number one value is health. Because I know if I'm going to enjoy this ride called life, I got to be healthy. So when he told me for $259, I can not only have the test, but I get a 35-page report, which I got to show you this report, because this report will literally give you insight into things I did not know. That in my DNA, that there is a potential for cancer or for high blood pressure, because nobody in my family has cancer or high blood pressure. So I would not have guessed that. I did not know that until I got this 35-page report. I also didn't know that inflammation and digestion were things that I needed to watch out for, but I kind of did because I've been eating enzymes and trying to get my food to digest on my own for a long time. So what I realized was this: for $259, I can give everybody the gift of knowledge and help put them on the path to health. So tell me, what's my number one value? So how important did that become to me? It made me get up at 6:30 in the morning, you guys. That is huge for me, huge for me. Usually if I'm up at 6:30, I haven't gone to bed yet. So why do I say all that? I say that because whether or not you decide you want to do this as a business or you just want to have this information for yourself, or how many of you guys are parents? Any parents in the room? How many of you think it would be awesome to set your kids on the right course from jump so that they never had to go to the doctor and hear those horrible words? Because to me, that's the biggest gift you can give your child. So I'm starting to look at people. Now I start thinking to myself, okay, well, who might I call to tell them about this information? Well, let's see, anybody who's a parent, anybody who has any kind of illness, anybody who's healthy and doesn't want to get any kind of illness, and all the people that I like, well, that's pretty much everybody, folks. I mean, did I leave anybody else out? In fact, the people I don't know, I'll get to them as soon as I know them. People I don't like, I still care enough to give them the information. Here's why: because I know what comes around goes around. And you know what? I'm not going to withhold information from anybody, but here's what I'm going to share with you. Whether you like this concept or not, the only people that I've run into, and I'm going to be honest about it, the only people I've run into that are not super receptive are people that are sort of conspiracy type people that are afraid to give their DNA away because God knows what they did in high school, right? I don't know. That's the only group that has been a little reluctant. Other than that, everybody's been really receptive. So rather than me go through and tell you all about it, I'm going to show you how easy it is to share this information. Because what good is information if you don't have a way to share it easily, right? And how many of you guys are busy people? I love busy people because busy people get things done. So what I want to do is show you how easy it is to share this information. I'm going to show you first what I call the 3-minute glimpse. And this is enough to find out if somebody has any interest in what you're talking about. And this is also what I call an IQ test. Because if they have no interest, it means their values are what? They're not health, right? So if somebody in your life has values that don't include health, how long do you think they might be around? Maybe not as long as you'd want them to be. So ideally, everybody's going to get on the health bandwagon. You either get on it on purpose intentionally before you need to, or because you have no choice and you waited too long. So I'm going to encourage everybody to just pay attention to this 3-minute video. If you've seen it before, look at it from the eyes of this is what I'm going to share to possibly save somebody's life, possibly change their path, possibly help them with information that could help their children or their parents, or help them not end up having to hear those horrible words from a doctor. Okay, so if you would, please just cue up the video.
Your DNA makes you unique. You have one genetic code, only one body. You don't need everybody's nutritional supplements. You can have your own. Cut your losses and move on. The days of blind nutrition are over. Your DNA knows exactly what you need, and Üforia delivers it. Welcome to your very own designer nutrition. We're all potentially susceptible to certain physical ailments based on variations in our genes passed down from our parents. These genetic variations are called SNPs, or single nucleotide polymorphisms. We aren't able to eliminate SNPs from our DNA, but we can do something about them. We can take action to optimize our physical health. It begins with a simple DNA test. Swab the inside of your cheek and mail your sample to Üforia's state-of-the-art laboratory partner for analysis. Strict HIPAA guidelines are always followed, so your information remains confidential and secure. Based on your DNA results, a one-of-a-kind nutritional formula is created just for you. This is your very own Ütrition, designed from peer-reviewed plant-based ingredients plus vitamins and minerals. With so many high-quality ingredients and so many of us, every formula is truly unique. Each custom formula is one out of nearly 400 million possible combinations. And while your Ütrition is being customized, you can immediately begin to make your health a habit. Every Üforia starter kit not only comes with a DNA test, it also includes a pre-trition formula. This is a mild and gentle cleanse. It also supports the body's preparation for the optimal Üforia experience. The pre-trition formula contains a robust combination of quality active ingredients, including AC11, frankincense, and astaxanthin. Pretrition gives your body a fresh start. You'll be prepared when your customized nutrition arrives, which takes approximately 2 to 4 weeks, delivered right to your door. You'll receive a 30-day supply of your customized formula, along with a detailed action plan that explains what you need to know about your SNPs. Staying on track to meet your nutritional needs for the rest of your life has never been easier. You can receive your customized designer nutrition delivered to your door every month, all for less than the cost of buying the nutritional ingredients separately. Finally, everyone's unique biology meets one-of-a-kind technology. Your DNA is talking, and Üforia gives your body a voice.
Techie to do this, clearly, right? So my question to you is, how hard was it to show somebody that video? Did that give you enough information to understand what we're sharing? So I'm sure that there's always going to be some people that have more questions, because that's the nature of some people, which is great. But I love the fact that this is so simple that you can say, hey, I have something you need to take a look at. Do you have 3 minutes? All of you say, do you have 3 minutes? Let me hear you say it. You are qualified to do this business. Fantastic. All right. So basically, that's video number 1. And what I like about it is it's very visual, it's easy to understand, it's quick, and it gets to the point. Now, for some people, they want to know a little bit more, especially if they're considering a business. This is mainly the customer video. So if you're talking to somebody and you want them to be a customer, you're not really talking to them about the business, you show them that video, and when you're done, you ask them whatever questions they might have and how would they like to get started, and it's very simple. Okay, you would go to Üforia Science. That's the website you would go to for that. And if you become part of the business, you'll have a personalized, like mine's Hallie.Üforia Science. Very simple, right? Now, if you decide somebody wants to be a business partner, usually those are the people that have more questions. They have more questions about who am I going to be in business with, how solvent is the company, who are the people behind the scenes, what's the fulfillment like, all of those types, which are all great questions. And because Ron is here, I don't want to belittle it or belabor it, but I do want to show you there's one more video that gives people a glimpse. So if you do have somebody that you're considering making a business partner, and again, you're not a presenter, this is not something that's comfortable for you, but you want to show that to them, you can show them this next video. We have another 3 minutes, and it will make it really easy for you to share the business side. So can you cue up that video? Okay, Kyle's going to get the, and then while he does that, I'm going to tap dance. What's the plan? Okay. Here's what's great, you guys. This is the first event ever. Literally, this is number 1. So talk about a company. We are before pre-launch. How many of you guys know that the people that hear about things first usually have a first-time advantage, the first-to-hear advantage? Well, we have beyond a first-to-hear advantage. We have a first-to-hear, a first-to-be with the CEO, a first to try the products. I think we were one of the first people to get the reports and to be able to be on nutrition. So while I'm stalling, because we're waiting for the sound guy, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what it's like to be on the nutrition product. So I started the pre-trition when I got my box, my kit. CEO and are we good? Oh, this is fun. Anyway, so what I noticed is that I began to eat and eliminate in a pretty regular manner, really quickly. Anybody else on pre-trition? Yeah. Anybody else have that experience? Okay, so all of a sudden your stomach's not feeling real stuffed, which is a marvelous thing. I've had to take enzymes my whole life because I don't digest that well. So that's something you can look forward to right away. When you put that kit in someone's hands, they're going to start taking that, and all of a sudden they're going to start feeling less bloated. So that's a great thing, right? But I'm going to let Ron go ahead and share with you for the next 3 minutes, so take it away.
My name is Ron Williams. I am CEO and founder of Üforia Science. And everybody wants to know what Üforia Science is. It starts in a lab, world-class lab, HIPAA and CLIA certified, which means they operate at the highest standards of quality and efficacy, as well as the highest standards of security. Your information will never be seen or sold by anyone but you. And from the lab, they measure what are called your genetic SNPs, single nucleotide polymorphisms, which really we inherit from our parents, and they tell us a lot about genetic variants and what we might be susceptible to in our overall life and our health. And what's cool is once the results come out of the lab, there's an intellectual property, a software that has been pioneered by some of the best minds on the planet with DNA. And what happens is your information goes through that sophisticated software and it produces a name, your name, and a barcode. Then the miracle happens. That name and barcode are then scanned by what we've called the Nutritionator, and the Nutritionator will make your very own designer nutrition using nearly 100 plant-based, peer-reviewed ingredients just for you. So we find this to be extremely fascinating. We call that product Nutrition. It comes with your name on the label. So what's happening now is people are seeing this movement into DNA. You know, your DNA is your authority on nutrition. So everybody wants in. The problem is they're mimicking the message by saying, here's a DNA test, which is fantastic, by the way. And then they're just using pre-labeled, prefabbed, pre-made product off of someone's shelf using blind nutrition. So instead of doing a DNA test and blind nutrition, and here, go eat this, and go to the grocery store and buy that, and go to the health food store and buy this, I mean, that's a lot of stress and legwork. So what Üforia does is it removes all the legwork, removes all the guesswork, and it puts in the palm of your hand your very own nutrition. You know, I've had a few nights to sleep on this vision and this technology. And I think Üforia has the potential to become, to supplement companies, what Amazon has become to retail outlets. I think there'll come a day when our children's children will say, hey, you mean you guys used to use all the same nutrition for everyone? You know? So I think that this is the future. It's inevitable, and we're leading this future today. So clearly this is also, you know, a business movement. Talk about an opportunity to be on the ground floor of the future today. Even when it confronts the supplement industry, where will you be at the tipping point? And so this is going to be a business that really demands leadership, but it'll be dominated by customers. The nice thing is we've made it affordable. Actually, the technology has made it efficient and affordable. We did a study that if you went to a health food store and you were to try to replicate your nutrition and buying all the ingredients individually, it could cost upwards of a couple $1,000s. Nutrition is delivered to your door for $159. It's a lifetime of luxury. So this just isn't a new product, it's a complete paradigm shift. Being who we truly are at our core and our identity is life-giving in itself. It's empowering, it's liberating. So at Üforia, being you never felt better.
All right, so that gives you a little more in-depth information, right? Gives you a glimpse into the business opportunity and the timing. There's two reasons why we showed you that video. Number one, to show you that's actually on your website. The company has put together the most beautiful suite of resources and websites you ever saw. It's all in English and in Spanish already. Just to give you a glimpse, most companies they get to Spanish maybe in year 2. They opened Canada in year 2. We're already open in the United States and Canada. Why? Because the team that put this together, this is not their first barbecue. They've been doing this for a while. In fact, they've been doing this for 27 years, and they've had success in multiple companies. They have relationships outside of this country. So we're already positioned better than most companies will be in their 5th year, and we're in pre-launch. So the other reason that I wanted to show you that video is, you know when you've seen someone's face, you have that familiar feeling with them, you kind of already love them? Well, because we have so much love and respect for Ron, I wanted everybody to already feel the same kind of feelings that we do about him, because honestly, from the moment that we went and met him, now mind you, this is 6:30 in the morning, which if you guys know me, you know that I don't like anybody at 6:30 in the morning. I really don't. I like my pillow, that's about it. So the reason that I was excited about it is he somehow managed to get through my crusty, grouchy morning self and still make me like completely fall in love with him. As a matter of fact, just to give you an example of what I fell in love with, please look at the man in the back corner with his 3 children on his lap. That is what I fell in love with. That is Mr. Ron Williams. And I think without further ado, Ron, can we uncuddle you and bring you up to the front? That, I have to tell you, made me fall in love with the man. In fact, most business meetings, when the CEO of a company tells you that you've got 30 minutes, they're on the clock, they're looking, and they're basically get to the bottom line. And Ron's like, can we just get to know each other first? I was so blown away by that, Ron. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, my pleasure.
I think we need to pin this lapel mic on you. Okay. So you guys, can I get a proper applause for the one and only Mr. Ron Williams?
I can hold it. Thank you. Thank you, Hallie. Hey there. Good. Yeah, I'm not going to blow up balloons in time today with my jacket. Sorry. I'm just here to try to look like I'm from Vegas a little bit. You know, I'm in a show. It's funny when you go and look at the billboards in Vegas, you can't tell anymore whether it's a law firm or magicians, you know. It's 2 names always. And they dress the same and look the same. So anyhow, now you're guilty, now you're not. No, I'm kidding. So good to be here. Always a pleasure to share the stage with Hallie, with Mike, with others. They were unmistakably beautiful when I met them. I always say they blindsided me when I first met them, because it was a Saturday morning. My boy had just had a football game, and we just kind of strolled in and said, well, we're going to meet a couple people at the office, and they came in and I was sitting up in my chair looking at what clothes did I wear today, because fashion has never been my sort of thing. So pleasure to be here on a Saturday during the holiday season. I've been, for the last 2 weeks, all over the place, to say the least. And it's been fun. The people would ask, well, Ron, during this time of the year, the company's so new, why would you go from city to city to city to city? And my answer to that is, I will not leave the fate, or the cultural fate of this company, to the wind. So I'm here to make sure that it's crystal clear. Our intention, not perfect, but just clear. That the intention of this company is to love people, to illuminate people, to give people hope in a world where hope is priceless. And just really give people something perhaps that they hadn't yet seen before when it comes to services provided. And if anything, particularly during this holiday season, if I can leave this very room of people today in a space of just real content and happiness and peace and unity and brother and sisterhood and ambition, or whatever it happens to be, some different things are going to pop out of different people. But my intent is to come in and do that sort of thing with you today, not for you, but with you. So good to see a bunch of old friends that I've known for a long, long time. It's always good to see familiar faces. And when I walk in a room, I just kind of take a quick snapshot and then I go. So there's no two talks alike, so hold on tight. I think what comes to my mind today is talking a little bit about the human condition, starting with just wellness. I'm not going to get into the presentation because I thought, if I came today in Las Vegas on a Saturday during the holiday season, what would I hope to experience? And what I would try to do is answer that by completely blindsiding you with something completely different. So here's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with the health condition of what we're seeing in North America. This is the sickest, fattest generation ever. We'll start right there. Okay, the first generation that's perhaps projected to outlive their children. Our children think they're health nuts when it says 10% juice on their candy. Okay, a fast food, lunchable era of foodless foods and lifeless drinks, things that mimic nature. Infomercials that deceive, infomercials that are designed to cause compulsive purchasing, compulsive behavior, trends. Let me tell you something, your health is not a trend. It's as timeless as the sky is blue. So when you hear health trend, you should probably run, okay? There are certain things we can do that work. Now, the beautiful thing about all this is that the body is there to back you. It's got your back if you understand how to empower this body. A lot of people, the old school of what I call blind nutrition, the old school blind nutrition by default became hype. Of course it did. You're a Me Too company. You better start hyping it a little bit. Blind nutrition by default causes a little bit of desperation because you're trying to distinguish yourself from Me Too. So we're kind of now witnessing the beginning of the end of blind nutrition. Therefore, how would that look and feel to put that in the rearview mirror? What would we then say? Here's what I believe we would say. First of all, we would stop making false claims and this is going to cure this and cure that, because no product cures anything. The body cures things. What the body needs is a certain reverence. It needs the proper raw materials. That's what it needs. So basically, I used to work at the largest essential oil company in the world. Some of you might know it as Young Living Essential Oils. Anybody heard of that one? Great company, by the way. Great oils. Some people might have them on their table. I got them in my pocket right now. Burning a hole in my pocket right now. But yeah, sometimes they leak. Careful, okay? Yeah, don't put oregano oil there. So, but all I can say is that I've been through CEO of a raw foods company. If God made it, eat it. I've been through senior executive at the essential oil company, and I've kind of seen a lot of things. And I consider myself not some certified expert, but some self-read kind of guy that really can go down the rabbit hole if you want to. I don't believe in fanaticism, by the way. If you're here to be the fanatic and pick the little and find the dark piece of rice in the bowl, you're probably in the wrong room. Fanatics die every day of self-inflicted stress. That's why they have bad breath and are struggling to make rent. You know, they just fanaticize over everything and they get sick. So I'm kind of a little bit like, hey, take responsibility for your health, but don't turn everybody off. Nobody knows how much you know until they know how much you care, kind of a thing. So when I looked at health, a lot of experts are theorizing that health is energy. So when you take your smartphone and you can make your smartphone work, it just means you still have that electromagnetic energy in you. If you were dead, it wouldn't work, okay? You just put, nothing would happen. But because you're still alive, that energy, many believe, is a source of wellness. Your life force, if you will. And so if that's the case and you're still alive, consider that life force like a bank account, and you are the account manager. I want to make sure this lady can see me once in a while because she keeps poking her head around. She left. Okay. Oh, she did? Okay, there she is. Good. Okay. Anyways, you need to wear tighter jeans next time, sir. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. So basically, so you're the account manager. Think of it this way. You make deposits or withdrawals. So when you think of it like that, you're like, okay, I woke up this morning and I felt alive, you know, and what did I do from there? Did I make deposits or withdrawals? And there's a lot of research on this now, so I won't go deeply into it, but I'll tell you there's research on this very theory about health. So if that's the case, how do you make more deposits than withdrawals? What are they? Because some people think that I came here to sell you the one and only solution to your life. I didn't. I didn't come here to sell you anything, actually. I came here to maybe share and open up a conversation in a world and a life, even financial opportunity for some of you who are just saying, man, thank you, perfect timing in my life. You see, the name of the company, is this for me? Wow, people are starting to get to know me. I'm a lazy CEO. Did you? Thank you, Rodney. I'm going to back it up. Okay, I need to juggle a little bit. So, thank you so much. So basically, you know, how do you go about making these deposits? And so the first thing I looked at is, you know, what did you do when you woke up this morning? Did you make deposits or withdrawals? And so I want to talk to you a little bit about what are deposits versus withdrawals today, so that you can have a consciousness moving forward. You see, in the 80s and the 90s, during the blind nutrition craze, it was inferiorism. That's what they call it, inferiorism marketing. By the way, I did it. I'm guilty. I was good at inferiorism marketing. Here's what inferiorism marketing sounds like. You know what? Dirt ain't no good anymore. And the air and the water is all horrible. And there's nothing left in the plants. And but if you take this miracle supplement, you're going to live forever. That's inferiorism marketing. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So I teach roughly 9 to 10 principles of health that would be a habit for you that would cause the body to heal itself, okay? And so the first one, if you're going to write these down, if you're going to really embrace health and stop fighting disease, please stop fighting disease. What you resist persists. Our government declared war on terrorism. More bloodshed than ever. War on disease. Sickest generation ever. You know, war on gang violence. Right? What we resist persists. So when it comes to wellness, it's not a conversation of fighting disease, it's more of a conversation of embracing health. So I would like to think that you just focus on being well rather than focus on not being sick. Focusing on not being sick is weird. You're going to attract every germ on the planet when you're doing that, truly. So number one, if you're going to embrace health, the first thing you want to do is keep breathing, okay? Fresh air. The cleaner the better. Breathe deep. It's free. Now, air conducts that electromagnetic energy, particularly before a storm. You know, when the clouds come in and there's a storm and your hair gets all weird and stuff. That's that electromagnetic. When it's like that, I kind of crack my windows in the car and I'm like, I'm just taking hits of that stuff, you know, because, I mean, it's like when you're on a road trip and the windows are up and you've been driving for 3 hours, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, it's like dead in my car. And you just crack the window and instantly something just happened. You just made a little deposit, is what you just did. It was free. So breathe deep, the cleaner the better. Conducts energy. Number 2, water. Interesting how the surface of the earth is 70% water, fruits and vegetables, 70% water. The body from the neck down is 70% water. From the neck up, it's 93% water. What you drink today walks and talks today. And so water, by the way, also conducts that electromagnetic energy, particularly moving water, more so, okay? And by the way, headaches. If you look online, you research headaches, 8 to 10 out of headaches are nothing more than a dehydration of the brain. And a lot of people reach for their water right now. They're like, yeah, man, darn right, man, get my water out right now. I got Hallie's water. Yeah. So water is obviously really, really good for you. Number 3, now you guys don't have to worry about this here, but sunshine. There's a lot of new stuff on this. Not new, but there's a lot of stuff surfacing right now with sun. The sun is your friend. It's not the enemy. The sun doesn't cause skin cancer. A lack of fruits and vegetables in the diet cause skin cancer, okay? Now, if you're fair-skinned and you're on a poor diet and you're laying in the sun all day, yeah, you're pretty much asking for trouble. But if you're, eating a good diet and you're getting sun in moderation, there's a lot of studies now that say that when the sun hits your eyes, not directly, but just hits your eyes, it just flips all the switches in the body. So whenever you're dragging in the morning, just go sit outside for 15, 20 minutes and look towards the sun, not at the sun, and come back in just alive. All systems a go. Now, air, water, and sunshine are the first 3 things. Now, by the way, the sun produces rare micronutrients in the body that only the sun can produce with you. So thank you very much. Is that for Amy or is that for Amy? Amy, I'll share too. Okay. So the sun produces these rare micronutrients. So the first 3 are air, water, and sunshine. Anybody ever heard the term photosynthesis before? So here's a fun thing. At Oregon State University, they found a raspberry. This is a little study they did. The raspberry had 2,000 phytonutrients in it, and they were like, oh, it's impossible because the dirt was depleted of everything. And so they couldn't understand how those 2,000 nutrients showed up. And the way they showed up is being anchored in dirt. When you give it air, water, and sunshine, nature performs its nutritional miracles. It's called photosynthesis. I believe, like a flower, you give a flower air, water, and sunshine, and boom. I don't know that we're any different. We're just big old ugly flowers, some of us, But just getting that air, water, and sunshine is kind of a cool thing when you start that way, when you just look at life that way as a form of embracing health, not fighting disease. Number 4, exercise. There's 1,000 ways to exercise, but there's a lot of research now on walking, that walking is not only physically good for you, but it's psychologically good for you, that helps produce the endorphins, makes you happy, that maybe we don't need a surplus of psychiatrists, we need maybe a few more walkers along the way. So walking is very, very good as well, getting some physical action going on in your body. Number 5, I love this one, is trust in nature. If God made it, eat it. If man made it, eat it or leave it. Eat it in moderation or leave it alone. It's up to you. I won't age myself too much, but a long, long, long time ago, I researched this. I looked at indigenous cultures, and I found out, what did people believe before there were TV commercials or pop-up ads on your website? What did they believe before there were billboards, and infomercials, when they just had the wind and the trees? Well, they believed this. They had the original fast food. They picked it and they ate it. That's number 1. And number 2, they would look at food in more of a spiritual context. It wasn't physical matter. It was more of a spiritual message. Physical matter versus spiritual message. So a carrot, they would cut a carrot and they'd see, oh, the carrot has an eye there. There's one eye looking right back at me. They believed intuitively, spiritually, or just innately that carrots were an offering to the body for the eyes. And Cal Berkeley won a Nobel Prize in roughly 1979 when they studied the carrot, and they announced that carrots are for the eyes. Kind of thing. So they did that. Number 2 is a walnut. You open a walnut. It's a little brain, exactly, by the way. Identical to a brain. If you look up walnuts online and what they're good for, you'll see it's brain food, essential fatty acids for the brain, okay? Back in the Greek days, you know, the salads, these Greek salads, whether you find all the nuts in there and the pecans and the walnuts, it was all about being smart. I don't know if you knew that. What's that? The history of that was all about being smarter, okay? Tomatoes. We took a tomato and we had an illustrator illustrate the inside of a tomato. And then we went to the encyclopedia to look at the inside of the heart. And folks, you just couldn't tell one from the other. It was fascinating. And again, look up on Google, and you know, particularly when you go on a fast and they say, before you break your fast, eat a bunch of stewed tomatoes, and it goes into why, what it does for your heart and all the cardio and all that kind of stuff, that tomatoes are heart food. And what am I getting at here? Well, avocados, women. Of course, we're close to Utah. Utah, we don't need more avocados. There's babies popping up everywhere. Some of them are right back there. But avocados are a swollen seed that from blossom to ripe are 40 weeks, just like the term of pregnancy. And you know, I remember teaching this stuff 20 years ago and people thinking he's crazy. I mean, I was in Australia a few years ago and I was watching the news and the lady goes, avocados are for fertility for women. And you went on and on and on. It's just fun to see all this stuff that nature is nutritionally complex. So we don't have to be. So it's kind of fun when you look at it that way. Growing up, I ate a lot of buns and rolls. The people from behind me can actually see, so they'll laugh, right? So, but funny that we call them buns and rolls. But anyhow, this can go on and on and on by way of this conversation. It's called signature foods, the sign of nature, signature. So that's number 5. Number 6 is relationships. How many of you have been in a relationship that made you feel sick? Raise your hand, be honest. If they're sitting next to you, put your hand down right now. Okay. How many have been in a relationship that made you feel alive? Truly, felt alive, like wow, right? Interesting, where there's no supplementation involved, there's no avocados involved yet. There's, you know, but basically you're just buzzing. You might even be sipping down punch and junk food in the right relationship and feel more alive than ever. That energy, right? It goes up to here. I give my mom one of my kids and she holds my kid and her energy goes from a 6 to a 26 in like a second. It's interesting how relationships are a deposit. And so when it comes to these relationships, you know, there's 2 choices. There's one, you know, be a victim. You know, victims walk around carrying their victim stories like antiques, just so they can show the world why they're miserable. See, this is why. Get in line, right? We've all got our stories. Get in line. So if you want to collect, you know, victim stories like antiques, remember this, man. Victim versus responsible is things either happen to me or through me. It's that clear. There's no mistaking that. You're going to have things happen, folks, of course. I do. We all do. But it's really how you want to take charge of things. If you're going to let life snap you around, let it. But if you're going to snap life around, do it. It's a difference. The person who's victim wakes up and says, gee, I wonder how today's going to go. A person who's responsible says, here's how today is going down. Okay? With little variations every day, probably, normal variations. So when it comes to relationships, there's 2 ways to go. Either I'm responsible for these relationships or I'm not. It's that simple. And when you're responsible, what it means is you just learn to show up different with people than you were. Maybe what you were projecting onto somebody I worked with and I voided in the office because we had a different religion. He was an accountant, I was a creative person, and we don't get along, or whatever it happens to be. It's so funny that when you decide to create that relationship so that you do get along, it's pretty amazing. By the way, that's a great form of leadership, that we all belong together, sort of leadership. So relationships. Number 7 would be your hobbies and passions. Anybody here have any hobbies and passions? I love to hear. What do you do? Snowboard. Yeah. Sweet. Motorcycle. Surf. Sing. Drums. Helicopters. Basketball. Scuba diving and wrestling. Trail run. I thought you said trail wrestling. Trail wrestling. I'll meet you on the trail. Yes. Awesome. Yeah. Music. Dancing. Yeah. It's really sad, that you develop the ears for this after a while when you talk about this conversation enough, that when people meet me, sometimes they'll walk up and they'll say, hey, Ron, we used to dance. Okay. And we used to, I'm sitting there thinking, this sounds like a eulogy, So what's next? Death? I mean, is that your next move right now? Because when it comes down to our hobbies and our passions, man, you don't need anyone's permission to go plug in. I know that I love to play ball. I remember playing baseball growing up, and then I converted to the lazy softball player, but on a very competitive level. And I remember, man, on Wednesdays, I could be in the office, and I would just be dragging a little bit, and I'd think, well, wait a minute. Today's Wednesday. I got a game tonight. And I can smell my glove out in the car. All of a sudden everything changes and my energy goes up. That's wellness. Yeah. That's life-giving. Your hobbies are life-giving. Do them. Find them. Recreate them. It's really, really fun. That's a deposit. There's things like rest. Getting appropriate rest, and don't drive yourself. I'm going to scratch that one on this because I've been traveling like a crazy fool. Yeah, get rest, folks. I haven't gotten the best rest the last few days, but get rest. It's important. I can feel what it feels like when I don't get appropriate rest. And then financial health. How many people here have felt financially sick before? Raise your hands. Okay, of course. And the thing is that your money is part of your wellness and your health. It puts a little extra bounce in your step when it's done the right way. Money doesn't define you. It might expose you, but it won't define you. Money makes good people better. It makes people who are choosing to be lesser probably lesser. My view on money is there to serve people, not vice versa. And sometimes people become servants to the money. Why? What for? So you can be superficial and artificial and connect with no one? Buy your friends where there's no loyalty? So, money. And then finally, the last one is some form of spirituality. Something bigger than you so you don't get in the way. Some days better than others as well. But the inexplicable form of wellness, the inexplicable form of peace, the reverence, the surrender to something greater than you, that allows you to live into something more like the greatness, actually. So here, we're not allowed to be the ego kind of thing or the entitled sort of thing. We're basically here to serve people. And I've always tried to live by a certain philosophy that says, there's nothing here for me. And it's not meant to sound like a martyr or feel sorry for me or I'm too good. No, there's nothing here for me. It's just a way to show up, because expectation is the mother of disappointment. If you show up and go, yeah, I sure hope this happens today in the room, you're already setting yourself up for a potential letdown. But if you walk in and say, okay, I'm going to just love on everybody, there is nothing here for me, watch. Watch how much, perhaps, love you receive in return. Acceptance, friendship, involvement. So there's nothing here for me. Imagine if our culture really became that as a company. It would just be a buzz. We'd come in here and breathe deep and just take in all that great energy together, and we would release it right back out to the world. It'd be kind of fun. So those are the principles of health that I've been teaching for a long time, 20 years. And when I first started talking about the carrot and the walnut and the tomato, I was made fun of a little bit. But I will tell you, today, if you look at WebMD, our sketches are up on there now. They're using this information at WebMD, as a form of prevention. That raw food is perhaps, or raw nutrition is perhaps the only form of medicine. Let food be your medicine, let medicine be your food in that context, that works 100% of the time for 100% of the people. So, having said all that, why did I say that? It's so you can understand what euphoria means to the world. That's why I said it, because now we get to talk about wellness in a completely responsible way. When it was blind nutrition, it required a little hype, required a little promissory, it required a little desperation. Euphoria doesn't. You know why? The answer all along was that the product doesn't heal, the body does. That was the answer this whole time. And we finally get to say it, And so what happened was I kind of made my career, seen a lot of things work, made a lot of mistakes along the way, just still standing, still loving on people, still have a great deal of hope and life to live myself, just like you do. And I get a call about 14 months ago. And the call was, hey, Ron, there's a technology screaming your name. Now, when I hear that, I'm like, cool, because the last 2 years, God knows I've been calling every CBD product. I've been calling every cryptocurrency dust deal there is out there, and I diversify. I diversified into cryptocurrency, but not to provide for my family. I diversified into CBD, but I did that in 2009. That was kind of the start of my run with CBD. So just didn't want to be another Me Too on every street corner. That's it. All due respect. I'm not good at Me Too companies because it changes my energy. It just does. Because you have to distinguish yourself. So here's how it was shared with me. If you're just visiting today, just try to put yourself in my shoes 14 months ago. Hey, Ron, we're buying a laboratory, words that I've never been involved in before. Oh, okay. Well, the lab has all the compliance that you'd want, all the qualities that you want to be a big boy lab if you want to be a legitimate laboratory in the medical world. The lab focuses on DNA tests. Okay? From there, we just purchased a software engineered by a bunch of scientists for the last 20 years. Now, I heard 20 years, like, are you sure 20 years? That just sounds like an exaggeration. The actual number is 24 years, but I'm just saying 20, okay? I said, wow, what does this software do? He says, this is the magic. The software takes your DNA results and it runs it through there, and it computes kind of the algorithm of you, and then it produces a barcode with your name. And then the third piece, nobody on the planet has it. We engineered and built the transformer machine that scans your name and barcode and drops nearly 100 plant-based, peer-reviewed studied ingredients into what we call Utrition. And I'm like, and the next sentence was, the theory was there's no two test results alike, therefore there's no two formulas alike. And I'm like, he said it'll make nearly 400 million unique formulas. One is yours. Like, obviously thousands of questions go off in my head. First one was like, is this for real? Because it sounds what's the catch? Sounds way too good to be true. So here's what I've discovered on my own since digging in. Not only does it make it there on the fly for you to the microgram, you get who's gotten their report? Anybody gotten their DNA report? Anybody talked about these yet today? You did? Okay, you did. Yeah, you get a 35-page report that tells you a lot about you that I guarantee you wish you'd have known when you were a baby on day one. But you get to know now. Babies are going to get to know in the future on day one. Okay? That's number one. It tells you what you got from mom, what you got from dad, what you got from both, and then some lifestyle recommendations, and then a formula for you to the microgram, the actives to the microgram for you. Then, on the wing of this machine, it has a real-time printer. Real-time, not a cheesy little thing, world-class quality. Print your label right there with your name on it, okay? And in your report comes your formula, your actives, if you will, and you can see kind of what's going on. And therefore, it's Amazon-proof. So, thank you. There, Michael Zappia. Ooh, I could pinch his and become a little bit more like Michael. I want to be, anybody want some? Raise your hand. Yeah, that's right, baby. Take back your identity.
I'm pretty sure that's HIPAA.
Yeah. So, that's funny. I want some of Hallie's too. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, so while it prints your label, they're real time on the fly. And this is the distinguishing question. Remember this. Listen closely right here. When somebody says, oh yeah, they do DNA tests and nutrition, the question is this. Do they put their labels on before or after your DNA test? That's it. Ours is after. The others are like, well, here you go. We got your DNA, and we're going to give you this bottle and these two bottles, and it's just one size fits all. So they're using DNA as an instrument to get your attention. Oh, no, the DNA is fine. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying we're doing it right there on the fly. Amazon proof. Okay? Finally, if that's not extreme enough for you, This is the part that still blows my mind. Every single batch, toss that to me. I can catch. Okay. Man, does she have a good arm or what? Here, catch this. So every single formula is considered a batch. So where I come from, a batch is 100,000 units. Hey, we're going to run a batch of this. So we run 100,000 units, and we put it on the shelf. We pull a sample. Guess what? Because of the FDA and compliance with this, we have to pull a sample from every single product made and put it in quarantine for 2 years for quality. So just to let you know the extreme commitment that we have on this, to make your formula not only one, just one of a kind, but two, the quality measures that we have to go to are extreme. So when you look at the value proposition that's being offered with Üforia, it's pretty significant. A 35-page report. Hey, I've been on the road the last 2 weeks. I've seen people, grown people, get up and sob, showing the report, saying, you know what, for 10 years, I've been fighting with my health professional about something that was going on and nobody believed me, and look, now I know what to do. Just that peace of mind alone will help somebody sleep better instead of always be in question, always have uncertainty. Those are not deposits. Uncertainty is not a deposit. In fact, it's a withdrawal, okay? So it's been beautiful just to see people get their reports and just have that peace of mind. So all of this came about now that we're witnessing the beginning of the end of blind nutrition. So from a business conversation, yeah. You know what the cell phone became to the landline? Exactly. What the iPod became to a CD. You know, what Amazon is proving to be to retail outlets. Üforia has that potential. In fact, I would go as far as to say, not pounding the chest, but this is arguably the most significant wellness company in history. We just have to live into that. We have to kind of, welcome healthy debate. I'm not saying it to be the king of the mountain. I'm just saying I can't think of a debate. I can't think of one that says, oh no, that's more significant from a wellness offering than a DNA test that spits out your specific information, but then translate that into your specific nutritional product to the microgram. All peer-reviewed studied. You couldn't make the cut as an ingredient unless you had the peer-reviewed studies. Checkmate. I'm like, okay, pinch myself, thank God, whatever, just filled with gratitude. So I accepted, and we're here today. We're about 36 business days into our Whisper campaign because we don't pre-launch until next month, January 12th? 12th and 13th, across the street actually. We're going to have our official pre-launch. We'll be joined by Eric Worre. We'll be joined by people from all over North America and Puerto Rico. And right, Rod? Así es. And so, not you.
Yes.
I get you. Okay, so it's a long story. But anyhow, just really feel very grateful that this is who we are. So in reverence or respect to that, I'm going to do in 10 minutes the slideshow so that you can see yourself doing it, because this is the key. It's not me getting up here and kind of sprinkling on everybody. It's a little bit of that, but it's more so about you just seeing yourself doing the slideshow. It's this simple. So I'm going to have you watch this because I've been doing it in the last few cities. Who's controlling it? Right here? Okay. So go back. Back. Whoa. Oh. Is this thing going to work? Let's see. There's Hallie. I want to keep that in my presentation. That's awesome. Here you go. Did they show this yet? Okay, you've seen that? Okay. So it starts off with this video. So you're talking to somebody, they watch the video, and they're like, really? So here you go. The vision of this, the vision's gone. That's okay. So the history, basically it says here, the vision of the company is to create an extreme human experience in an extreme scientific environment. So my whole background is the human experience. I just fortunately inherited or attracted the whole scientific side of this. So they go together beautifully. Okay? Did you guys already do this presentation? Okay. Because I don't want you guys to be going, he doesn't know we already did this. Okay, here we go. So the history of nutrition, these are some of the marketing graphics that we created. 8 decades of blind nutrition, guys. What is blind nutrition? Try this, try that. We don't know if it's toxic, malnourishing, pasteurized, preserved. Oh, but some other DNA company does liquid vitamins. That just says preserved. That's all it really says, pasteurized. So this is kind of a one-size-fits-all model. How many of you, by show of hands, have a cupboard full of blind nutrition? Be honest. That you spent, yes, pointing at Hallie, yeah. Okay. Number 2 is I put this up here for the specific purpose so that in case you have somebody going, well, I know of DNA nutritional companies, you can use this slide. Here's what happens. They'll do your DNA test, but then in a counterintuitive way, they'll offer you one-size-fits-all nutrition. You need more vitamin Bs, you need more, it's just a one-size-fits-all model still, okay? And then finally, what we're doing is designer or precision nutrition, okay? And precision nutrition is to the microgram, making health a habit, not an event. Society's made an event. This is a habit sort of thing. Okay, the steps are very simple. Where is that? Black DNA. Okay, yeah. Thank you very much. So these are kind of a hot commodity right now. This is the DNA kit right here. This has, that one's open. Thank you. Inside here has your swabs. There's 2 swabs, just so you know. You swab each side of your cheek. One swab here and another swab here. They want to make sure it's consistent and it matches, okay? That's kind of a quality measure so that there's no two different person swabs. They want to make sure it's the same exact person, okay? So you do that. There's an envelope in here. It's a prepaid mailer. It's already prepaid. Get it in the mail. If you're leading and you're building the business, help them get it in the mail, okay? So make sure it gets off in the mail because some people are experiencing a bottleneck that they're swabbing it, but they're just not taking the time to go put it in the mail, okay? So get it in the mail. While your tests are happening and your DNA is pairing to your very own nutrition, there's an opportunity to engage already in a product called Pretrition. Pretrition is basically a mild cleanse or a prep formula filled with probiotics, prebiotics, cleansing agents, just to kind of get the GI tract going. On the road, I touched on this a little bit. Did you know that 80 to 90% of your endorphins are produced through the belly? A lot of people don't know that. And so your gut health is critical to happiness, critical to digestion, assimilation, anti-bloating, immune system, allergies, all of those things have to do with your gut. So if you take a lot of antibiotics, or you've taken a lot of antibiotics, we all know that antibiotics indiscriminately kill all the good bacteria in the stomach. So people say, well, let's just take some probiotics, let's eat some yogurt. Probiotics are an artificial form of bacteria they go through and they pass through. Prebiotics, they're king nowadays. Prebiotics feed the forest of the belly so the forest grows naturally. So this is loaded with prebiotics, cleansing agents, an ingredient called AC11 that we'll be training on here in about 5 weeks. This is what you start to kind of cleanse and prep the body for your nutrition. Then, about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, now that it's all set up, you will get your DNA report in an email. It's kind of fun. It's a 35-page report, and you get to see your colors. Can I see your report again? I just want to make sure you all, thank you, I'll get this one. Do you mind if I flash your colors? Okay.
Are you going to take some questions later on?
Sure. So there's a section in here that, if you're visiting, it's kind of intriguing. Wow. Holy moly, this is the first report I've ever seen without a red, this we're not using, I'm kidding. Without a red marker. It's the first one I've ever seen. I got some reds here. Let me see, just, I got what you need. Thank you.
This is Hallie.
That's Hallie, okay.
What does a red marker mean?
Well, here's what it means. I'm going to show, there's no reds here either.
Oh, no, she didn't. Oh, yeah. The rest even exist.
Does anybody here have some reds? Who's brave enough to share with everyone? It's okay. You got your report right here? You have a red? It's okay. It's right there. So here's one with a red. Now, I'm really impressed that people living in Vegas are living pretty darn healthy right now. Something's going on here. You guys must know something. Just one red here. Every room I've been in has had 4, 5, 6 reds, you know. So here's what it tells you. First of all, it tells you kind of what, you know, if you have a red, okay, if you have a green marker on that particular genetic SNP, it means you didn't get either from parent A or B. If you have yellow, it means you got from one of your parents, that genetic variance. If you get a red, it means you got it from both, okay? And so those are the cues that the technology then computes and looks for and formulates for you to let sleeping giants sleep. Thank you so much. Wow, I'm pretty impressed. There's that good stuff. So basically, you're gonna open it up, you're gonna register. It's a $99 one-time test because there's a coupon that gives you $100 off. I'm just going to tell you guys, in St. George, Utah, I live up the street. There's a doctor. She's a part of our company. Her name is Dr. Jen Myers. She's a genetic specialist. She did my genes before I ever met this technology. She just did it. She had to hand compute the results. It took her about 2 hours. That part alone, the test and the hand computing, was $730. And then she offered me blind nutrition. Here you go, try this. And I was like, wow, a little over $1,000 bill is what it was. Our test, because we're not in the business of lab, we don't want to be in the business of lab. Our test is $199 because and then give the coupon, it's $99. We didn't want to cheapen it. Honestly, just the conversation we had around the tables, we wouldn't want people to think it's some cheap lab. It's not. We don't want to be in the business of making money in the lab. We'd rather be doing what we're doing here, okay? So you get your lab stuff going, you give them permission, and some people ask, well, why can't I just do it all at one stop? The answer is very simple. To be HIPAA compliant, all the lab stuff has to go a separate route to keep your information confidential. So that's why you have the dual experience out of the gates, okay? So here's your contents. I think I just covered all that. Next, this is a little bit about the lab I've already talked about. DNA analysis. It does 18. People say, why 18? It's a starting point. It's called your heavy lifting genetic SNPs. There's more down the road. But the heavy lifting SNPs are like heart, immune system, neurological, bone density, vitamin D absorption, detoxification, things like that. Just all the things that you want to know kind of right out of the gates. That's what the 18 are. Okay? This is kind of fun. So what this is we decided, how are we going to market this so that it's simple, so that we don't make it complicated? And please don't make it complicated. Here's what we decided. We were going to list all the SNPs, and when the website comes out next month, you're going to have a full-on website come out, that you'll be able to see all the SNPs, and you'll be able just to put the cursor here and click on any one you want to. In real time, you'll get about a 20 to 40 second doctor saying, this is what that SNP is. And you're like, oh, cool, I'll click on the second one. This is what the second SNP is. Oh, by the time you're at SNP number 7, you're like, okay, I'm sold. I mean, that's basically what it is, because it's really fascinating, each one of them, okay? So this is for the inquiring mind who wants to know all the different SNPs. Feel free to click away, okay? Some of us are not so inquiring. We're like, got it. I just want to get my product and go. Get my test, get my product, go tell other people about it. If that's not enough, then guess what? You can start clicking on the ingredients and look at the peer-reviewed studies. So that, again, if the inquiring mind wants to go deeper, let them. But you don't lead this way. I would advise you not to lead this way because you're going to raise more questions than answers. But if somebody really is inquiring, we want to make sure that it's very simple and intuitive. Here's a lab. Here's a software system. Here's 18 SNPs to click on. Here's over almost 100 ingredients to click on. Enough said. Okay? It'll make nearly 400 million formulas, 20 years in the making. We call it Utrition. Has your name on it. I'm just showing you how simple it is. This is the piece that really is fun. This is the Utritionator. We didn't know what else to call it. But this is the one of a kind that was engineered and built. It took roughly 3 years to engineer and build this, and a lot of money. It's the only one on the planet, and the reason being is because it'll do it for the masses. You see, I would be misleading you if I said you couldn't get this kind of service somewhere on the planet, because I think you can in little pockets of people who have those naturopathic doctors who are in their little offices, making no money, you know. And what they're doing is they're doing your DNA test, and they'll have maybe a dozen herbs, and they'll go in the back and then they'll charge you $1,200. But I'm just saying, it's just the masses is the main thing. There's a few people doing that, and high five to those people, by the way. High five to them. So this machine will make one formula every 15 seconds. It's pretty fascinating when you see it. Okay? We've already ordered our second one. The waves are coming. We feel it right now. And we're soon going to order a third. It'll make 110,000 units a month. Okay. Next. It's kind of what we just talked about. Click it. Thank you. Sorry about that, yeah. Some of this is redundant. Oh, I got it. Okay, is there anything else here on the money side or no? Yeah, let's take a look. Oh, usually the U series comes right here. Yeah, let's see. Well, I'll show this, but if you see the U series while you're scanning, that's okay. Let's look at this. Go back about. There you go, right there. Go back to the packs, sorry. So here's how people are doing the business, just in case you wonder. Now, if you're here and you're resisting the business because you want the product, you're fine. There's nobody here twisting anybody's arm or forcing anything to anybody. This is really a business by choosing. It's really a service by choosing. My job is to present the detail of this, and that's what I'm doing here today. However, having said that, our profession, nearly 50,000 people a day now join our industry. I used to think it was the same 50,000 people, no, I'm kidding. But about 50,000 people a day are joining our industry. We do roughly about $200 billion a year. So compare that to the NBA, $9 billion. Compare that to the video game industry, which is big, $60 million. The movie industry, $80 million. So believe it or not, our industry does more than all of those combined that I just mentioned, okay, annually. So it's not going anywhere. Some people think, oh, it's a get-in-line lottery mentality. No, it's not. It's work. It's work like anything else. But here's what makes it special. To start your own business somewhere else, you got to spend usually a significant amount of money to invest in your business. Here, you spend enough to get your product, and you spend your energy, and you develop your skill and expertise. I would say in Üforia, being nice is good, but not enough. You got to be nice and you got to be skilled, lethally skilled at what you do. Both. Be kind, be great. And so if you're looking at it that way, so again, if you're visiting, what happens? People say, well, why wouldn't you put this on the shelf of Walgreens? Well, here's why. We'd have to pay out a distribution house, warehousing, shelf space. We'll have to pay for billboards, pop-up ads, radio commercials, TV commercials, magazine ads, on and on. And then just cross our fingers that the market understands the distinction between this and all the blind nutrition. Nah. Let's avoid all of those costs, which is about 50% of the equation. Let's avoid all of that. And let's just pay you. We'll try to package it in such a way and create little 2 and 3 minute videos that the first week, I'm here to tell you, I think it played around 200 times, the video, the first week. Second week, 2,000 times. So you can imagine right now it's probably showing 20,000 times a week, 5 weeks into it. Now imagine 5 months into it, a couple 100,000 times a week. That's what we do for a living. That's what our art is. That's what our expertise is package it, simplify it, and duplicate it. A brilliant idea that nobody gets is not brilliant. A simple idea that everyone gets is brilliant. So if you try to make it broad and you get all sciencey and you're mocking doctors, you're in trouble. It'll never duplicate. But if you're just keeping it simple, hey, there's a lab, there's a software, there's this machine that makes nutrition. Oh, if you want to click on a SNP, click on it. If you want to click on an ingredient, click on it, but that's it. That's it. This is a habit. You know, that's really all there is to it. So people are starting with these in a 3-pack, 5-pack, or a 10-pack. You get a 10, 15, 20% discount. Obviously, having them on your person makes a big difference because you can just simply give it to them, help them swab, help them get to the mail, and off to the races. Why is that so important? Here's why. This is what I'm used to throughout my career. I'm used to seeing a database. It doesn't look exactly like this, but technically it's the same. Where this is you. Let's say you introduced 5 people. Now, Mike Zappia is, I don't know if anybody's going to outwork this guy. I mean, he's working. And some people go, well, Mike Zappia already has several hundred people in his organization. Mike may have only recruited 12 himself. That's it. I mean, I'm not saying he did or didn't. I'm just saying that's how it usually works. And then when you look down the road 2-3 years from now, oh my gosh, they have 48,000 people in that. How did he get all those people? He didn't. He got 12 people. So that's the thing that most people just need to wrap their heads around. This is about duplication and effort. That's what it's about. Part-time, full-time, or all the time. Some people, Mike's doing it all the time right now. Now here's why this is so special. So I'm used to seeing a payout like this. Make decent money. But because the customer ratio, not everybody wants to do the business, and that's perfectly fine, but most everybody wants this. They want to get in and get their stuff. They want peace of mind. They want nutrition, okay? Not a problem. Get a 3-pack, and let's try to average 3 customers per nutritionist. Boom. Oops, sorry. That's what a commission looks like when you average 3 customers per nutritionist. Your bonus goes up 400%. Same structure, just customers now are coming, okay? Let's say you get the 5-pack and you want to average 5 customers. It goes up 600%. Let's say you want to go and get the 10-pack and play big, and by the way, there's some people that's a month and a half into it and have already gone through 3 or 4 10-packs, just because they're just sharing with people, you know? And, oops, sorry. So basically, 10 customers, goes up, 1,100%. As a team, corporate-wise, we've been kind of doing our research and a market study. We think that this is going to be a customer-to-distributor ratio of about 40 to 1. It means there'll be 40 customers to every business builder in our company. If that happens, you better just hold on tight. Now, if you want that to happen, just move through the 3, 5s, and 10-packs together. Okay? Just move through them. They will move if you carry them and you share them. So that's what makes this so special. I won't go much further beyond that, but can you find the U-Series slide in there somewhere?
Okay, give me 1 second. I got it on the other side.
While he's finding that, any questions so far so I can close with my favorite part? Yes?
Can you explain again about some people said they got all this information through their blood test and what the difference is through the DNA test versus blood test?
Yeah, the way the doctor explained it to me is your DNA is the blueprint to who you are. The blood are the accessories. How much of this or how little is in your bloodstream right now. So the blood will change, DNA will not. You just want to know what the blueprint looks like before you ever start messing with the blood, but some people are going to get blood tests to see what's going on with their blood after they get going. Okay? DNA never changes. Yes, sir? Oh. Great question. So the question is, will this be available to children? If I have a say in this, absolutely. Got some right back there. The future of Üforia, this is where I'm looking at least, is this. We would love to do DNA someday, no promises of dates, but someday we would like to do DNA skincare. Imagine doing your DNA and having just, if you have dry skin, oily skin, sensitive skin, elasticity issues, it would be nice to know why, right? And then put the stuff on there that you need. We want to have DNA weight loss. Some people have they don't have the skinny gene. I'm kidding, but they want to know that. So then we can approach it that way. DNA sports performance, but my favorite one is RDA for children, DNA-based children. So to answer your question, we want to in the near future be able to test them. We just don't have a formula for them yet. Okay. But there's lifestyle choices that a child could know and make early. Sir, did you have a question?
For example, somebody said got diagnosed with diabetes or something like that. They're taking pills. If they do this, they show them how to, maybe they'll eat something that they're taking or something like that, or what?
Shoot, I can't answer that. The compliance officer's in here. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Here's how I would answer it no matter what. If they have been diagnosed with something, they should consult their doctor, because we're not going to prescribe anything to anybody. All I know is that somebody who has blood sugar issues should probably eat a low glycemic diet, low carb, low sugar. Having an anchor like nutrition is not a bad thing, but I would always consult their physician. Okay? And my answer is, I don't know, I'm not in their body. That's our answer. Okay? Yes, sir.
What about the SNPs? Do the genes change based on your environment that you're in, that kind of thing, like those SNPs?
Great question. Do your genes change based on the environment? So the terminology for these genes, these SNPs, are actionable, how they express themselves. So for example, I'm going to give you a stupid example so I'm not making claims, but let's say mom has a gene that she grows a wart on her nose, and dad has the same one, and then you look at your wart SNP and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a wart on my nose, it's red. Okay? So I'm just giving you a stupid example, but you'll remember it. Depending on the environment, diet, how you manage deposits versus withdrawals, and specifically how you take these science-based nutrients and apply them to the body so the body can let sleeping giants sleep. And in this case, the wart would be the sleeping giant. Okay? Next.
So I think you're safely saying that you don't necessarily treat any disorder, but only to enhance the body's ability to balance. But like, what is the Adonis model, so to speak, that you're trying to maintain?
The design is to scientifically give the body the best fighting chance it has to do what it does. Yes?
I have a comment. You talked about how people are kind of reluctant to maybe mail their sample of their swab, and I'm getting mine this week, and I've had fear. I'm thinking, what if I find out something that I'm scared to do it? So I think part of the reluctancy, because I'm going through it right now and I haven't got my kit yet, is what if I find out something horrible? So to guide someone through that and give them some kind of, and so what would you say to me that I could say to someone to make me feel better about that?
Well, I haven't turned in my DNA because of my criminal record. That's why I'm moving to Prim. Oh, that's on video, isn't it? Oh my gosh, that's gonna make social media. I'm totally kidding. What I would tell you is knowledge is power, and in this case, it's peace. I've seen sobbing people on this trip, and I just was a little bit taken back, to be honest with you. I was expecting people to be, yeah, I think I got it, explain it to me, but I walked into a room of people that were in tears, couples where, there was one couple who the wife had the obesity gene, she had the red one, and that's been an issue with their marriage, and they were able to talk about it more in a documented way than an opinionated way. It was really, really beautiful and enhanced. I could tell it was enhancing their relationship. Well, you're like driving without your headlights in the middle of the night. So I would turn the headlights on. Yes?
How does epigenetics play in this whole amazing thing?
Well, we have a new rap called Epigenetics.
Epigenetics.
No, I'm kidding. So epigenetics is basically once you understand your genetic this, that, and the other, that, to your point, sir, you find the lifestyle and foods and diets and environment to thrive in. So we renamed it to immunetics. In fact, it wasn't in there. Yeah, we renamed it to immunetics purposely. So we had our own language because epigenetics, there's like 20,000 in and 120,000 out online. So we decided to make our own name called Immunetics, and Immunetics is this. The ignorant might ask what this product will do for their bodies when the wise will anticipate what their bodies will do with this product. So whether it's an environmental question, a dietary thing, a relationship-oriented thing, all those sorts of things, taking your nutrition as a habit, a great anchoring foundation based on science, that's what we call Immunetics. It's basically letting sleeping giants sleep. Okay? All right. Yes, ma'am.
I have a friend whom I admire greatly. She's a herb practitioner. She's been making and eating her own raw food for over 40 years. A COPD was told 40 years ago she was going to die. I'm trying to get her to do this product, not for money, but for her health. 7 years ago, she joined a multi-level marketing company, was promised the world with all these vitamins, and nothing was delivered. She's been burnt. She won't even listen to me. Is there any way, without ruining our friendship, that I can speak to her to at least try it? To me, she has nothing to lose and everything to gain. But I don't want to ruin our friendship over it. So I'm just wondering if you have any suggestion. She's a Reiki master. She eats complete vegan. I ascribe to live like her. She's unbelievably disciplined. But she will not jump on board with this. It's driving me crazy.
I need you to write your address down for me.
I will.
Okay. Okay. That's your. Sorry. Sorry, I know. I just look but don't touch. I got it. Okay. You can touch. Okay. Okay. This is not Utah. Okay, we're not brother hubs. Okay.
So wait a minute, I
Wait.
have a second
A
question.
brother hub is a sister wife, but it's a brother.
May I
Yeah.
ask my
Yes,
second
ma'am.
question now that you want my address? Tomatoes, I adore tomatoes, but they're acidic. I'm dealing with cancer. I had to give them up. Is it your opinion that tomatoes would be okay for me to reintroduce them to my salads or not? Just your opinion.
They're alkaline, you said, right? That's what I thought.
They're alkaline, and I've been given this information.
They start out acidic, but they end up alkaline in the body. And again, there's no one thing I think that we do that causes the teeter to totter. It's a lifestyle thing. So if you're drinking alkaline water and you're eating greens, and there's ways to just live an alkaline style life.
So then tomatoes would be okay for me to reintroduce them?
Stew 'em.
I gave them up and I love them.
Stew 'em is the best too, by the way. Just lightly stew them. Yeah.
That was it.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Ron. My name is Juan, and I have a question. Might be a two-part question. I like the presentation, how you explained it. I've seen the video only once, which Joey here shared with me. But on the swapping for the DNA part, and once they know what you're going to need a new product to take this. And you're on this program for, let's say, a year or two or whatever amount. Is there a follow-up testing DNA to see what's changed?
Yeah, good question. The DNA will never change from infant to elder, but your blood could and would. And again, you're trying to make sure that these genetic SNPs, that the expression is a positive one. So it's a lifelong lifestyle you want to live, so that the expression doesn't turn out to be something you're not wanting to have. So again, the genetic tests will not change, but the blood could. And again, I think this is a lifetime, a lifestyle conversation we're having. Does that make sense?
Is there a follow-up DNA test?
I would do blood. Well, if there's ever a follow-up DNA test, it's maybe someday we come out with a skincare line and we want to test a certain gene on you guys, and boom, we do it, and now you have your designer skincare. Okay? Con mucho gusto. ¿Habla español? Sí, también.
Terry, in your report, does it kind of give a blueprint of how to treat your lifestyle change?
Yeah. What it does is on each ingredient or genetic SNP, it talks about what the lifestyle is required for that SNP. So, when you're reading about SNP number 12, it'll say, here's some of the nutrients that are in there and why, and here's some recommendations for lifestyle. So if 12 is a red for you, you're going to really pay attention to the lifestyle. Okay? You bet.
Question, if you're taking this, does this replace, or do you end up still, is there still more vitamin supplements you take, or is this like this pretty much it?
I would call this a foundational product that you would want to take and let your body express itself, see what happens. And then there's some people, women who might want to, or men, who might want to find bioidentical hormones or something to do with cardio that's more targeted, like an L-arginine product. So there's things that, I'm not saying this is the one and only, but I believe this is a very strong foundational lifestyle product.
I'm kind of wondering how many things in that closet full of stuff could actually go.
You can save. I say you guys take a picture of all your blind nutrition and have a yard sale. We'll have like a...
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
On the same lines, I take herbs and essential oils every day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of my lifestyle. Would I want to give this, now I've been doing the pre-nutrition, love it. I believe my product just arrived, so I'm going to be picking it up. Should I give this a time period to stop everything else to get it into my system? Or should I continue to do the daily routines that I do, along with, or that might be asked of me by people in my life as well, like, what should I do when I start this?
Well, there's so many variables to wellness. For example, walking, breathing air, drinking water, getting a little sunshine, relationship, building, and all that stuff. There's so many variables. It's a hard one to answer, but I know what I would do. I would probably let this do its thing on its own and just listen to my body. If it's time for a little peppermint before bed, then then I'll just put a little right here and just breathe deep and sleep like a baby. So just listen to your body, but give this a fighting chance. See how you feel, okay? Yes, sir.
So I've been coaching on quite a few people on the ketogenic diet.
Uh-huh.
So men and women are a little bit different, especially when it comes to blood type. But one of the things I really hone on is inflammation within the body.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think that you're just going to drop weight and stuff, but they got to be patient. They got to let their body heal itself.
Yes.
So my question is does this really focus on inflammation?
One of the genetic SNPs is inflammation. So again, without me making claims, the scientists spent 20 years not only studying that gene, but studying the ingredients that might couple to that really nicely, okay? And you and I both know, if you're teaching that, I'm pretty familiar with the keto. If you're teaching that there's more than that variable. It's what kind of carbs, what kind of sugars, how much, how little, all that stuff. How much fats, what kind of fats. So good for you. So I'm going to move on because I don't want to take up too much of your time. Thank you. Is your phone number?
Everything. Except for measurements.
Okay. So in closing, I just want to share something with you guys. And it's my favorite part of this, and you'll probably notice it by my energy. It's my favorite part. At the core of this company, it's about identity. It's about self-identity. It's about your DNA identity. And right now, there's an identity crisis going on our planet with people who are just kind of flying low and blending. Filming her daughter. Her daughter was 16 or 17, watching this video. And her daughter was going, oh, and she had tears, and she says, oh, I love this company. And she was just a teenage girl, and her mom's filming. She goes, well, what do you love about this company? She says, makes me feel like a dang queen, and it was just really sweet. And then she went on and on and on about how Üforia was making her feel as a human being. And that's my come from, that's my passion. I know it's Michael's passion, I know it's Hallie's passion, I know it's a lot of people's passion that's in this room, Rod. It's a passion to lift people up. And so when it got to this point, I thought, man, my last company that I did, it outdid me, if you will, because we had 4 paintings that were just so powerful, and you remember those, Rod. It was just a powerful conversation. I'm thinking, what are we going to do here? And what came to mind was the U series. Find elements of nature that are beautiful, where there's no two alike, and let those elements serve as a mirror for us to remind us how beautiful and how unique we are. So the thinking was, okay, if I were to describe each of you, I would think divine, I would think purpose, I would think unique, radiant, beautiful or loving, strong or strength, and then of course at the end of the day, miracle. So went looking for elements of nature that would illuminate that. So snow, leaves, some of you have seen the leaf video, love the leaf video because the leaf comes to this earth and its purpose is to dictate the environment, much like a leader might. Not dictate, but you know what I mean, create the environment. And then right in front of us, a leaf dies for its cause, for its purpose. And then Sand. 8 quadrillion grains of sand on the planet. You look at it through a microscope, it's gorgeous. I had no idea. It's beautiful, it's colorful, different shapes, different sizes. No two alike. But what's sand? Unique. Stars. NASA has revealed that what stars are made of are what you are made of. We are star stuff. Literally. Stars, they shine. They're radiant. What are we waiting for? Literally, we're made of the same stuff. Okay? Butterflies, gentle, loving, it works. Kindness works, folks. I believe that health is kindness. Kindness is health. Okay? Strength or strong shell, if you research the lifespan of a shell and what it's designed to do, it's strong, it protects. And each one of us are strong. And then finally, the miracle is you. All of this is designed to illuminate. We're going to play one of the videos, and it is the snowflake. This is divine. Huh? Yeah. I'm going to go back one slide. There we go. The snowflake, scientists are still trying to describe what water is. They really are, much less a snowflake. So let's play that video.
Modern technology wasn't so modern when it gave us the first images of snowflakes. For the first time, we saw the beauty of nature's creation, and a secret was revealed. No matter how many times we look, no matter how many snowflakes we see, when the same atoms, the same molecules that give us so much frozen white wonder come together, no two snowflakes are exactly the same. Each snowflake created by random design of Mother Nature's chance. Each one created by divine choice. Just like all of us, made up of the same elements, the same molecules, yet each one uniquely different. You and the snowflake, unique by chance, divine by choice.
So, I'm going to send you home lit up like a Christmas tree, and here's why. One time I was doing what's called the U of U. Who here has seen a U of U before? Okay? U of U is what I do around the world to help people just turn the light switch on, to facilitate it. How's that? And I was doing one, and this young girl raised her hand. She was sitting next to her mom, and she said, "What is self-esteem? What is self-worth?" And I remember giving a really cheesy answer, and I went home that night, and as I often do, I rehearsed the entire day in my head what happened, to detail. I don't know why, but it just happens, and then I edit out the stuff that doesn't belong, so next time it's a better experience. And I remember thinking, man, I wasn't prepared to answer that question. The reason being is because society talks about self-worth like it's a tattoo. This person has a low self-worth, this person has a high self-worth. And as I thought about that, I thought, wait a minute, that's not true. Why is it some days you wake up and you feel, yeah, and then there's other days you wake up and you just struggle with worth. You feel worthless at times. I do. What's the difference in those 2 days? So I revert to starting with children. When a child is just in their beautiful stages of childhood, they dream. They believe. A child walks in the room and they should own the room. Act like an adult makes absolute no sense to me. 0 sense. What, do you want to be cynical and thick-headed and all that and know everything? Or do you want to be just real and present and accept and not assume and forgive and be resilient and believe everything? Just believe in your dreams. And when I talk about dreams here today, please don't think that I'm being airy-fairy. I think of dreams like your loving relationships, your friendships. I think of dreams like your career and what are you really doing what you were designed to do out there? I think of your dreams as your physical being, how you look and feel. I think of dreams of how the community, how you interact with your community. Don't complain about your community, go do something. And then I think of dreams of your spirituality. Just how much peace are you getting from the outside, okay? That's creating this thing that's bigger than you, so you don't get in the way. That's dreams. Well, children, they don't doubt. You ask a child what they want to be when they grow up, and they say anything because they can. It's not until they listen to us, or that first broken friendship, or that first infatuation that just didn't work out, or that first job that sucked and just all of a sudden, And what were smile lines, they all of a sudden begin to convert into frown lines. And we wonder what happened just now. And I know every one of us in this room have experienced those frown lines. Like, what was that? Remember when I was a kid, how I felt? And this is adulthood? So then naturally what happens is this person is just surviving. Kind of faking it, imitating things and people. Let me tell you something. Imitation is a form of depression. Authenticity is life-giving. This person all of a sudden starts doing what? Well, I think I'm going to suck down some motivation. You better be, because you're separated from your dreams. I'm not saying motivation's a bad word, but I think it's a Band-Aid to a hollow, empty soul who's lost track of his or her dreams. So the word is this: inspiration. Synonymous with self-worth. Inspired. So what happens is this. You're sucking down the motivation over here just trying to find one little hole in the offensive line where you can find the light at the end of the tunnel. But after a while, it's like whipping a dead horse if you don't figure this part out. Because this, my friends, truly, in my experience, is the secret to you being freaking everything you were designed to be. You don't have to settle for less. You don't have to let go of the juicy passions that you've reminisced throughout your life. Here's how inspiration works. Now, when I talk about inspiration, some people go, wait, is that a church thing? What is that? No, here's what inspiration means in this context. When you're watching sports, any sport fans in the room? Sorry, girls. All the guys are like, yeah. When the color commentator refers to a certain athlete, let's say Michael Jordan, and they'd say, once in a while they would say these words, Michael's playing inspired. Thank you. Inspired in that context means can't be stopped. Just shooting with his eyes closed, shooting free throws, literally on TV, just going, making them. He's inspired. Now, I think of times in my life when I was inspired, and I want you to think of times in your life when you were inspired. Here's one for me. 16 years old, had a crush on this girl named Linda. Was I inspired. Get some flowers, walk 3 miles, really happy every step of the way, and never even thought twice about turning around. Just, these flowers are going to get there. I'm so happy. I am so happy. Boom, delivered the flowers, and all the way home, just the same vigor. Just, can't be stopped. Think of the first time you bought a car. Lazy teenager here, works 2 jobs, employee of the month, gets there early, leaves late, smooging all the bosses. Pay me, I'm buying my car because I'm going to get with Linda. Okay? Couldn't be stopped. Bought the car, no problem at all. Think of the times you bought a house. I know we have some real estate agents in here, but from the buyer's perspective, we're signing paperwork we never knew existed. We're like, okay, now, is that like 418 initials I just gave? Okay, keep going. I mean, but we'll do it because we can't be stopped. How many mothers we have in the room? Raise your hands, mothers. Okay? This last couple of years, my daughter, I went to her cheerleading competition. You don't mess with cheer moms. No siree. Got my butt handed to me in that room. It's like, excuse me. Your wedgie's a little too tight, it was just crazy. Moms, when a mom wants to do something, she's inspired, she can't be stopped, get out of the way, period. But here's the problem. Your lifeline, These windows of inspiration, these little spikes in your lifeline, they just come and they go. The window opens and then it closes. And then what we do when we get to be adults, we start reflecting, going, wait a minute. What was I doing during that era? How was I sleeping, on my side or on my back? Was I eating this or eating that? Truly, was I in a desert community or a snowy community? You start thinking, what was going on? Because whatever it was, I felt so amazing during that window of inspiration. So we start just really rehashing it, when all it really was these little windows of inspiration where you just can't be stopped and you feel so alive. It's life-giving. When I was buying that car, I had a walk that, people are like, man, what's going on with him? I was inspired, man. Could not be stopped buying that car. No way. Okay? So maybe inspiration and self-worth are synonymous in the context of maybe you just separated from your dreams. And the prices that are paid during dream separation sometimes are insurmountable, sometimes. But it's never too late, folks. It is never too late to open up that can of whoop and realign with your purpose and dreams and write it down again. Go back to that big dreamer, the juicy dreamer, not the edited version, not the survivor version, the dreamer version. The one who has some gut conviction that says there's more to me than what I'm putting out there right now. There's more to me. There's a gut conviction in every single one of you that there is more of you, and that you're sort of living blindly and in denial of that more part of you. So maybe self-worth is nothing more than just coming back and defining what you want in your relationships, what you want in your career and money. Because you know why? People who live like this have a low self-worth. And they don't even know. And they have a low self-worth. They settle for lesser relationships. They settle for lesser money. They settle for lesser dietary habits because of this. But when you come back and you align yourself center point to your purpose and your dreams, center point, uniquely to you, by the way, you light up like a Christmas tree. And energy doesn't lie. And what happens is we see people like this. We all know somebody like that, Hallie. She's over there just smiling like, that's me. We think they have something that we don't. That's the sadness in this. When all they have is this. That's it. Instead of making excuses, oh, they were raised on a silver spoon, or they were done this, and their parents did that. No. This is a choice. And these are the people that people want to marry, make babies with, go into business with, and the party doesn't start until these people arrive. Yeah. So, here's my point. When you bring that back to you, and you own it again. That's what a nutritionist is, by the way. I just described one for you. That's what a nutritionist is. A nutritionist is somebody who just owns who they are. And they're a mirror for people to own who they are. And if a mirror means serving you in a health capacity, a financial capacity, a community capacity, that's what a nutritionist does. They unapologetically just own who they are. That's what we're doing on the planet. So get ready. Because when you really learn this, by the way, tonight you can have this. Tonight you can have this. You can begin this. And there's days it slips. Yeah, it slips. NFL, Sundays, it slips. I just put on my adult diaper so I can watch the whole game. I'm kidding. But it slips a little bit. Okay? It does. But you get to adjust it. You'll know the difference. Oh, I'm not feeling so up and up. Okay, come back. So that's what we're up to at Üforia. If you thought it was just going to be trying to sell you a product or twist your arm into an opportunity, if we have to twist your arm, let's not do it, please. Let's not. We do these things by choice. So I came here, as I said in the beginning of I apologize for taking so long. I don't know why this is the last stop on this tour, and I'm like, but I just came here to hopefully impress upon you that the Üforia cultural fate will not be left to the wind. I've seen cultures sustain, I've seen cultures kill companies, but I do know this. Every entity who exists in a great culture has a chance to win. I know that. I can't say it on a bad culture. So I invite you to own who you are. Just step into it, man, and unapologetically just realize that the 99% is identical, but that 1%, that's the nerdy you. It's the talented you, it's the beautiful you, it's the awkward you. Step into that, because otherwise you're denying the rest of us the opportunity of you. Rod, you spoke on the call this morning. You were so awesome. Would you mind coming up and just sharing your experience of Üforia? I don't mean to put you on the spot. I didn't ask him. This is a friend I met many years ago who's just a world-class man, world-class leader, and I just felt compelled. Round of applause for Mr. Rod Furtado. Just go love him. Yeah. Nice shirt.
Good afternoon. All right, are we having some fun here today? Yeah. Can I just say, hear it one more time? Let's give a big hand to Mr. Ron Williams. Absolutely. You know, I am so glad our path just kind of crossed again, because let me tell you something. If you're here today, you are blessed. You have the biggest opportunity of your life. And if you have not woken up yet, let me reassure what's happening right now, okay? You are at the pre-launch, the beginning stage of a movement, something that is bigger than bigger. And I can tell you one thing, I've been waiting for 32 years to get involved into something like this. Because the most important thing, guys, I've been through many companies. I worked for many businesses. I made a lot of people a lot of money. And I've been successful in a lot of things, multiple six-figure income for the past 12 years. But it's not about me. It is absolutely not about me. It's about all the people that I can bless through Ron, through Michael, Hallie, their team, an amazing team. Because you're here because of them, not because of me. And I can tell you one thing. You are at the right place at the right time. So let's give it up for all of you that are here right now. My name is Rod Furtado. I'm from Panama, Central America. My first language is Spanish. I came here to the States seriously with $10 in my pocket. True story, okay? But I came here with one thing, and that's called a dream. Dream of succeeding in life, surrounding myself with good people, and today I'm not living that dream, I'm actually sharing that dream. Because after all, when we all go to the same place, we're all gonna go one day. We ain't taking nothing with us. The only thing you're gonna take with you is that memory right here that you're creating in special places with the people you love the most. So starting from today, when we're done with this activity, what I expect from you is to get out of the Secret Service business and become an entrepreneur looking for whatever you want to succeed in life. Because let me tell you, they have all the mechanism, all the tools, everything you can possibly imagine, including one-of-a-kind product to succeed with the right people at the right time. As I wake up every morning, I can tell you, there's two things I don't do. I don't take advice from broke people, and I certainly don't listen to people that are not living the lifestyle that I want to live. So take a good look at yourself and project what you want to attract. And I'm so grateful that Ron came out here with the right message, because he's absolutely right. When I met him, I knew that he was the right guy. But he wasn't ready for me, and he wasn't ready for you. I can guarantee you, I know his style. I know what he does. I know 100% his capacity to take this business to the next level. Because we're at ground floor, guys, but what you got to paint the picture is that a lot of you are going to participate in a worldwide business. Because this is not going to stay here. So if you can understand that vision, being on a ground floor of something bigger than you, then you have to put in the effort. You have to be disciplined. You have to be in the right set of mind, and every single day put everything you can to become successful. Keep it simple. Share the opportunity. Don't do verbal vomit. We are not nutritionists as doctors. We are delivering a message. And the message is very simple. If we can get inside of your body and take everything and fix it from within, instead of putting in medications, because medication is just to fix one problem. Nutrition fixes everything. And once you understand that, guys, my pants are falling because I eat less. You know, I'm going to tell you a story. This is a true story. This happened this morning. As I'm getting out of the car to come in here, I was going to tighten up my belt, and it ripped. The buckle ended up in my hand. And I'm like, oh my God, and my pants are falling in the middle of the parking lot. Yes, I'm human. And I'm going, what am I going to do? And I'm like, I watch MacGyver. So I put a rope out of my trunk. I'm telling you, this business is incredible. This business is incredible. But anyways, listen, as I wake up every morning and I share this, I'm going to tell you, from the moment I was looking for an opportunity, a friend of mine, we were texting. I say, hey, do you know anything out there? Because I've been waiting for 4 years. I don't put my name on anything. I want you to know. I try, but I keep it on the low tone. I don't put my name on anything because I've been waiting for something. And as soon as I'm here at this meeting and I listen to Ron and I listen to Michael and I listen to Holly, I said, I am with the right team. I am absolutely 100%. I believe that I'm in the right team. And if you're not, go home, lock yourself in your room, and watch a travel channel, and that's how you're going to travel around the world. You'll save some money. Trust me. But the most important thing, guys, you are the producer, director of your movie. You write it any way you want it. And the outcome is that if you put the effort, like Michael says, if you put 100%, I'll match your efforts. Let me tell you, I partner up with some people that are amazing. My real peak is the Latino community, my people, Latino, and my friends that are here supporting. Please, Sai, could you come here for a second? Sai, come here. Let me tell you something. Let's give a hand to Sai. I'm gonna tell you a story, okay? This is my business partner, okay? She is the vertebrae of my Latino community. Let me explain to you. Single mom, 2 kids, still working, making $12 an hour, could barely make it every week. And let me tell you something. Her and I, we're on a journey, okay? And we have not stopped. And because of her and her passion and her heart, we are reaching out to the Latino community. Because like Michael said and Holly said, this is the first time a company opens up and he thinks about the Latinos at the same time. You guys get that opportunity. Sai, thank you so much for being you, because without you, I would not be here, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay? And I wanted to give her that recognition. Thank you. I want her to give her that recognition because she has passion just like me. She wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning, goes to sleep at 10 o'clock, sometimes 12, but we're on the phone talking in Puerto Rico, talking in New York, Mississippi, in so many different areas in the Latino community, just putting the stars align. So listen, we're sitting here in Vegas. There's over 3 million people out here. You just need a handful of people that believe you, that trust you, that they know who you are, that they'll be willing to work with you and partner up with us to help you to build your business. Here's the best part. There's no team that, team this, team whatever. You know what team this is? The Üforia family. Because if you succeed, we succeed. We cannot succeed without you. Get that right. This compensation plan is so generous that it allows you that if you move up, and you're in that leadership role, guess what? They're going to pay you and reward you for your efforts. So take note of that. Understand that we're not, like Ron says, we're not a Me Too product. We're not a Me Too company. We are in the right place, okay? And so I just wanted to share that with you. I'm so excited. I'm so blessed because every single day I wake up for this message. So I just wanted to share that with you all. Guys, thank you so much. Ron, we love you. Appreciate it.
Well, now you guys know why I asked Rod to come up. Thanks, Rod. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. And you know, when a company kind of puts the Latin community right there with the gringo community, we were blessed enough to get a Rod and a Sai and other Latins that are here with us today and around the world. The Latin people are for real, man. I'll tell you what. I learned that when I went down to Mexico, and I'll never forget sitting in a bank, and I was in line and the music was playing, and usually banks in America are very dry. And there was a lady in front of me, probably like 70, and the music was just really light, and she was just, you know, in the bank waiting in line. I thought, man, I think I like this culture. They're quite fun people. So with that, folks, you can see that we're really aiming to do something spectacular, and we want to do it the right way. My portion is pretty much concluded today, but I wanted to express my gratitude to all of you. My wife, Candy, is here. I want to thank her. I've been gone for 2 weeks, so we get to know each other again. Get to know each other again in about an hour. I'm teasing. And then my little boys are here, Cannon, Truman, and Brighton. Colton, wave, buddy. Those are my puppies. But really, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the energy and the likes and the leadership of Michael with Hallie. So many of you, Rodney, who was just here earlier, there's some spectacular people that this company somehow attracted. And if I were to tell you what makes me most proud is that when I started this company, usually a CEO of a network marketing company will spend a year headhunting, begging a leader to come and do them a big favor and launch the company. And when you're doing that, because I've been there before, you lose all negotiation because you're not open yet. You have nothing to leverage, and the leader's going, how much can you do me for? You know, that's what it is. And so what happens, and then the rest of you come and you find out 3 years later that the buzz was gone before it ever started. So kind of designed it out, got it ready to go, and just one night just said, boom, we're live. And I remember the first week just biting my nails like crazy, you know, just nervous. And then the second week it started to pick up, and the third week, and the fourth week, and here we are in the fifth and sixth week. And I will say at this phase, it's on autopilot in a really spectacular, spectacular way. And how blessed are we to have such great people at the foundation of this company, because, man, the fruits have to match the roots. They have to. And if they don't, you know, we're going to find ourselves chasing the culture instead of being it. So let's be the culture. Be amazing. Be respectful to others in the room when you show up. Some people show up and go, is this going to be any good? And other people walk in and go, it's good now. You know, that's just how they show up. It's how they count themselves. And so we're that person. That's who we are. When you show up, man, don't apologize. Don't play small. Just be who you are. Remember, be that life-giving person, not the one that's trying to artificially live something that's a form of sadness and depression. So thank you so much. God bless all of you. Michael, you guys are going to, you are going to hear the best. I mean, you're here now getting it into you. Just take it all in, because you're going to get some training. And this is where, you know, this is where we step into it, folks, and we start learning the skill set. God gives us talents. We make it a skill. People die riddled with talent and no skill. You're going to now learn a lot about the skills and what the action plan is moving forward. Don't miss a word of it. Take notes. Enjoy. You're really taking it in from some of the best there are on the planet.
So, guys, I'm going to introduce a good friend of mine to you, because there's no way to really tee up this training portion without bringing this gentleman up, because we've had the privilege and just the opportunity to work closely together now for about 4 months. Ken's the owner-operator of a company called Addicted Realty here in Las Vegas. And I'm going to let him share the story with you, but it's just going to sound more right from Ken to hear what you're about to hear. I just want you guys to know at the base of this, obviously Ron's going to come in, he's going to travel around the world. But we have to build a business here in Vegas, right? And we're going to use Ron from time to, can you hear me okay? We're going to use Ron from time to come in and do stuff like that. We actually have home field advantage when it comes to Üforia because he lives in St. George. So he's right there in St. George, Utah. He's 90 minutes up the road. But as an organization, it's going to be Hallie and myself and a lot of the other leaders in Rod that are going to put this training in place so that we can have a city that just takes off. And Sherry Denny, who just spent 3 days at the GoPro with Eric Waring. How was that?
Fabulous.
Fabulous. So, but I'm going to introduce you. Ken is an incredible friend of mine. When we met, it was one of those relationships that you can't even describe. We knew instantly right then and there we're going to do some things together, and it's crazy because we've kind of manifested everything that's happened over the past 4 months. So, guys, give it up for one of my closest friends, Ken Calder.
Hey guys, thanks Michael. You guys, what a great opportunity for you guys to all be here today. I mean, I think yesterday, for those of you that have kind of watched some of our calls, we have a group called PathChangers, Michael and I. And PathChangers has been kind of what has evolved in both with my business and with Michael's and I's relationship. And on the call yesterday, we made a mention to, or Michael said, energy is caught, it's not taught. And the energy in this room is phenomenal. You guys are truly entrepreneurs. A little bit of background about myself. Basically, I come from an airline family, all right? My dad worked for the airline. My mom worked for the airline. I went to college, definitely did not want to work for the airline. I worked for the airline. So I got a job at the airline and everything. I thought everything was great. You know, I was going to work in the airline, spend the rest of my life traveling around the world for free. Yes, they do give you free tickets at the airline, which is cool. And September 11th happened, and everything changed, right? Changed for everybody, including myself, because all of a sudden, I realized that the job I chose and the fact that I was going to work for this company for the rest of my life no longer existed. That I was being controlled by somebody else. When they told me that my job was in jeopardy because the airlines, everything had slowed down, I realized that I needed to make some changes in my life. So I went and got my real estate license. And I know a lot of you guys are realtors in here and come from a real estate background. But I was living in Boston at the time, and Boston's not an easy city to break into the real estate market. It's super territorial, and I struggled. So ultimately I ended up out here in Vegas, and the rest is history. Started my own company, and now we have Addicted Realty, which I'm happy to say is doing very well in the Las Vegas market. And we're getting ready to open a couple other branches in both Utah and California. But what's really important here is I met Michael one day. He came in, he was working for Drake's Title, and like anything, it's a, you know, another meeting with another title rep. And Michael walked in, and I got to tell you, the energy, and I don't actually have to tell you because I know everyone in this room knows it, was contagious. It was just crazy, and we just connected. And Michael talked about Drake's for a few minutes, and then we started talking about what really is important about building relationships, and with building relationships, we build companies. And we build companies, and we build a brand, and that brand is each and every one of us. You and I can go out and sell real estate together. You and I can go out and sell Üforia together, but we're going to sell it completely different because our brand is different. As salespeople, we are absolutely unique. No matter what we're selling, we are unique, and we are selling ourselves. And each and every one of you have a great opportunity to take advantage of this because what you guys are here for the Üforia brand, I mean, this stuff is like cutting edge stuff. And then you throw your personality and your backgrounds into it, and this company is, you're all going to make unlimited amounts of money, I have no doubt. But what I met through Michael was basically the path changer movement and what a path changer is. What is a path changer? We're all path changers. It's just that Michael was smart enough to realize when he said that word that it actually had meaning and that this would be a monumental movement. And being a path changer is nothing more than an idea. All right? All success stories start with what? An idea. So right now in the Path Changer program, what we're going to talk about in this leadership possibilities is basically taking the idea of being somebody's path changer. Michael was a path changer to me. He walked in, he talked to me, he told me his story, and he built a relationship. And from that, we took it to something else. We took it to all of the agents at Addicted Realty. And we had 24 people on a call every single morning to listen to Michael talk about how to be a path changer. A positive path changer, somebody that comes into your life and completely changes your path. And I think that's what's happening in this room today. I think at some point somebody came into your path and kind of has changed it. And you're all here and you're starting this new adventure with this new company, with this new idea, and you guys are all part of the Path Changer movement, whether you know it or not. So I think taking that into the leadership side of it, and we see this with my company, is we have people that have been truly changed in their life and how they build their success and how they are seeing their futures, because they see, looking at the financial aspects and the faith aspects, the spirit, the nutritional, and all of the aspects of the 7 pillars, which Michael will talk about, all play into us being successful in who we are today. So our relationship will continue to grow. I hope to get more relationships with each of you guys. I look forward to meeting with every one of you. This is going to be a great opportunity for you guys to build your business and move forward. So thank you for giving me the time, Michael. I appreciate it. And you guys, hand it over to Michael.
Good stuff, brother. So I want to play a video for you really quickly, just so I don't have to spend all my time on this part of the story. I hope you guys learn one thing from this event. Raise your hand if you're going to be a partner in Üforia. Raise it high. Please don't ever let me run another event by myself. Small little town, South Buffalo. Buffalo is a great place to be from, not a great place to live. Everyone who makes their way out of there says that. Didn't have a lot of money growing up, but loved my life. I loved being a kid. I'd take those days back in a heartbeat. And all I ever wanted to do was be something special or do something special. Dreamed of being a professional athlete. Being a local football player for Buffalo State College, they had taken notice that they had a pretty sharp punter in their backyard. Buffalo Bills were supposed to sign me. The Bills didn't sign me, all because Bruce DeHaven got fired. So I never became a Buffalo Bill, but a couple months after that I became a Seattle Seahawk. So 8 days with the Seahawks, same situation. I think I was the better man for the job. A lot of people agreed, but the guy who had the job had a 2-year contract worth millions. And what seemed like the worst moment in my life, because I got fired, ended up being the best moment in my life, because my friend, whose father's a billionaire, Bobby's a multi-millionaire, and I said, Bobby, what am I going to do now? He goes, why don't you start your own business? And it was that conversation with a billionaire's son saying to myself, can I be an entrepreneur? And he goes, why don't you just personal train people? Look at the shape you're in. He goes, why don't you get paid for something you're passionate about? And I got sick of the people that wouldn't show up on time, the people that wouldn't do what they said they were going to do, wouldn't eat what they said they were going to eat. And I started to really realize that this business that I now had was no longer fun. And then that's when I got prospected into the network marketing profession. Went to a meeting in some guy's garage somewhere in the suburbs of Buffalo, New York. I came home with a kit. They sold me a kit for $200. I put it on the kitchen table. I looked at my mom. I said, Mom, we're going to be millionaires. And she goes, what are you talking about? I said, no, Mom, I got it. We're going to get everyone in the family to do this. And my mother looked at me, and I'll never forget this. She goes, oh, no, Michael. She goes, those are illegal. You need to return that box as soon as possible. No son of mine's going to do something like that. I returned the box the next day. I got my $200 back. Next exposure, a guy walks up to me by the name of Warren Rosegreen. Warren was this big 6'4" basketball player for the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. And he says to me, he says, Mike, do you happen to keep an open mind to business opportunities? And unbeknownst to him, I was sick of being a personal trainer. So I said, absolutely. That day I met a man who was really successful in network marketing. October 19, 2002, I heard this legend speak about what network marketing can do for your life, what financial freedom can do for your life, and past all the money and the cars and the things that were talked about that day, all I heard was freedom. Freedom to be able to wake up and be lazy if you want to be lazy. And I said, that's the business I want to be a part of. But I'm building a network right now. We're almost 1,000 people. The residual income is pouring in whether I work or don't work now. And I love every minute of it. So now from morning till night, I'm value out of this, but I promise you what I'm going to share with you, could potentially change your path. Ken, would you agree? It's going to be a little reenactment of maybe our first couple meetings together. Have you guys ever thought about in your life how the heck you got to where you are? Has anyone ever done that? Like, how did you get here? So, cool story for you. I moved to Vegas in 1999, like I said, and I meet a guy at the gym. I referenced it in the video. And this guy walks up to me, and I want you to write this down. He had the courage to walk up to me as a total stranger. I got a question for all of you. Do you care enough about humanity to help other people? Do you have the courage to help other people? It doesn't matter what industry you're in either. By the way, there's going to be a very generic training. Whether you're a realtor like Hallie and Ken, whether you're in network marketing, doesn't matter what your business is, doesn't matter what your industry is. You have to meet people, right? Well, this guy had the courage to walk up to me. And in a room like this about 10 years ago, 13 years ago, there was about 250 people at the Hampton Inn. You guys know where that is? On Dean Martin and Tropicana. And I was doing a big meeting for 250 to 300 people. And I told this story I'm going to share with you to tip off this powerful training I'm going to give you today. And I don't believe in training. I think you train dogs and cats and farm animals. I think you teach people, right? So I don't want to put you down. We're going to teach today. I call it teach to teach. But I'm in a meeting and I'm telling this story. Now, mind you, I had failed at everything in my life. Raise your hand if you were an admitted failure in your life. Good, we're all on the same page. But as long as you're failing forward, that's okay. Right? There's a book by John C. Maxwell. It's called Failing Forward. Great book to read. Don't worry about failure. Don't beat yourself up. Just realize that most millionaires fail 17 times before they make it. Woo! So if you're only 10 failures in, you got 7 more. Keep going, right? That's how I heard that. And this guy says to me, he goes, I like you. And I would write that down. Tell people you like them. I do it all the time, Hallie. I walk up to somebody, I like you. Deirdre, when I first met you, I said, I like you. It's Deirdre's birthday, by the way. I'm going to say happy birthday to Deirdre. So he said, I like you. And then he says this. He says, I like the way you train your clients. Look at this big guy. I wish my shirt fit like that, Ryan. What the hell happened to my body in 15 years? That's not funny, Hallie. I'd appreciate if you wouldn't laugh at that anymore. He said, I like you. And he goes, I like the way you train your clients. I said, thank you very much. He said, do you love what you do? And I said, yeah. He said, do you really love what you do? And I said, no, I don't. Some of you have heard this story before. And I always say, thank God he asked me twice. Because if he didn't ask me the second time, Angie, I don't know if I'd be here with you today. And there's power. Actually, the most powerful thing I'm going to say to you is happening in these next 3 minutes. And if you guys embrace this, like if you really embrace this concept, I promise you it'll change your life. I really mean this. And he goes, oh, you don't? And I said, no, I hate being a personal trainer. No offense, Ryan, but I hate being in the gym for 15 hours in a day. When you get to 44, you'll know how I feel. Your chest might not look it like that at 44, by the way. So just take a lot of pictures and stuff. I did. But I'll get it back with your help, maybe. But anyway, he says, would you like to meet a friend of mine who's a multimillionaire? How many people would say no? None of you. I look at him, I go, yeah. And he said, I'm going to his house tonight, and I'd like you to be my guest. I said, okay. Now, do you think it took courage for me to get in a car with a 6'4" basketball player for UNLV that was built like a rock, taking me to some Italian guy's house that was really wealthy? It took a lot of courage. So it took courage on his part to talk to me, courage on my part to listen and actually go. And I happen to believe most people wouldn't have done it. Would you guys agree? You would have? Good. But I did, and I'm glad I did because this is what happened. I got turned on to network marketing, yes, but more importantly, I got turned on to personal growth, professional growth. Write this down in your notes. The difference between what you earned the last 12 months and your next 12 months is only one thing. It's your personal and professional growth. It's not how well you can talk about the house, Hallie. It's not how well you can talk about the Üforia nutrition and how it's got your name on the label. The difference between whether or not you succeed financially in these next 12 months versus the last 12 months is whether or not you are willing to look yourself in the mirror and say, I want to grow. I happen to believe in life you're either growing or decaying. Would you agree? That's why I fell in love with Üforia. It's a chance for me to put quality nutrition in my body so I can regenerate cells. I happen to believe that's true. Am I right about that, JJ? Can we regenerate cells? I got some old bad ones I want to replace this year with some new nutrition. So Üforia fit right into my wheelhouse. But anyway, it's your personal and your professional growth. And there's just a few key things I'm going to talk about here for the next however many minutes we spend here together that I really think will drastically change your life because they changed mine. So I was mentored by a legend in network marketing, a man who made over $100 million. It's a lot of money, yeah? When I met the man, he stood in front of a room, right around 300 people, and the person who introduced him said, "This man's changed more lives than anybody I know." I don't know how that made you feel when I just said that, but wouldn't you love for somebody to introduce you like that? You know, I got friends in this world that make a lot of money. Hallie's a very successful realtor. Ken owns a brokerage. I've got a friend who just sold a $40 million agricultural chemical company. And he's in his late 50s now, and he's kind of a mentor to me because he's been so successful. And I said to him the other day, I said, "Joe, you're going to retire soon. You're going to sell your company." He said, "Yeah." I said, "What are you going to do with the rest of your life?" He goes, "It's funny you said that. Me and the wife were talking about it." And I said to him, I go, "Can I give you some advice from your younger Italian Buffalo, New York friend of yours?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Why don't you do something to give back?" Okay, you've made millions. You got a big, beautiful custom home in St. George, Utah. You're living the life. Your kids are close to you. You can afford to buy them homes, apartments, condos. The guy's loaded. 40 million's a lot, just so you know. But I asked him, I said, "Can I ask you how many lives you've changed?" And he says to me, "Oh, I never thought about that, but I imagine some." And I go, "Don't you want to change more?" How many people here want to change people's lives? How many want to change your own life? You know, it starts with you. So tonight, and I'll give you this question, write it down. I want you to think about your life and who changed your path. Hallie, I want to know, not now, but I want to know, how the heck did you get into real estate 30 years ago? Because whoever that person is that maybe pointed you in the direction deserves a thank you or a phone call or a big hug or maybe even a Christmas gift from all the money you've made. Now, you know what's funny? When I tell the path changer story, so the concept, I put it up on the screen before, a path changer is someone who radically and positively changes somebody's life. That's the concept that and you guys got to know this is, if you can't hear the passion in my voice, man, I'm doing a really bad job. It was in 2005 talking to a crowd like this that I told the story, and I got chills up and down my arms right now. You can't feel them, but strike me dead if I'm lying to you. And in the moment that I said, you know, that guy Warren Rosegreen, he changed my path. He was my path changer. And as soon as those words left my lips, I was almost frozen. And I went to the front row. My best friend Charmaine was sitting in the front row, and I said, "Charmaine, you're taking notes. Write down." Pulled the mic aside, so write down path changers. I wasn't going to forget it. But in that moment, I said to everyone in the room, I said, "Do you all realize none of you would be here?" So let me ask you. Do you all realize none of you would be here if it wasn't for a stranger walking up to me at a gym back in 2002? I want to marinate in this with you real quick, because if you get this, I believe that there's nothing you won't accomplish in this world, because I happen to believe success is based on serving others. Service to many will lead to your success. Look at anyone who's made money in your life, and we do need to make money, yes? Money is a vehicle, it's a tool to get the things we want. So why we can do the things that we want to do. We can be with our friends and family when we want to be with them. Being disconnected from a loved one for months at a time, years at a time, it's painful, right? But wouldn't it be nice to be in control of your financial future, JJ? You work your tail off at what you do, but you're here because you want freedom. You want to own your time. Sharp business person doesn't have freedom. That's what being a path changer, that's what being a part of Üforia can do for you. So, get this now. Stay with me here. None of you would be here if a stranger didn't walk up to me back in 2002. Now let's just look at something very logical for a second. Do you think y'all would have found out about Üforia sooner or later? Yeah, sure. So, if you wouldn't have found out from me, and I'm starting this little buzz, right, Hallie? We're doing pretty good, me, you, and the leaders in this room. We're spreading this Üforia thing out. But there's a chance, Darla, you don't find out about this for 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, right? So how fortunate are we, if we're going to shift over to Üforia real quick, how fortunate are we that we are here in the city that the company is going to pre-launch in less than 30 days or 30 some days? Now, please give a woo for that. Who did that? Woo! And that's one of my favorite things to do, and Ken knows it, right, Ken? I taught them one day in a call. Now, we've been working together for 4 months. We meet every morning at 8 a.m. Guys, I'm welcoming all of you right now. I'm never going to stop this. 8 a.m., pathchangers.org. It goes right to Zoom. It is a generic call that is all about positively and radically changing people's paths. How you doing, Shane? Every morning, if you want to wake up and be a part of Ken Calder's team and get on there and be a path changer, all we do, guys, we get on there, we read a scroll from the book called The Greatest Secret in the World. How many people have heard of that book? Oh, God, please write that book down. Hallie, you don't know? Hallie, you don't know? Shame on me. I could have changed your path 16 years ago with that book. What is wrong with your friend? I expect a beat down. No, but seriously, I kept a secret from you. I really have. The Greatest Secret in the World by Og Mandino. Please write it down, guys. And please buy the book. When I first met Ken Calder, we're getting to know each other. I'm starting to train and mentor and teach some of his realtors that are here today. Yorgo's here, and Nicoletta's here, Nicola's here. And where is Tony Swaggerty? Tony Swaggerty's here. Listen, I fell in love with these people 4 months ago. Who else is here from the team, Ken? I don't want to miss anybody. Who? Oh, Burnaby's not what addicted, but I love Burnaby too. Ken says to me, Hallie, man, after I was kind of reading you, right, a little bit, and I gave him a prescription. I felt like a doctor. And I said, you need the scroll Mark 9. He was struggling with procrastination. Raise your hand if that's one of your things. Yeah? Okay, I got your prescription. There's an age-old book called The Greatest Secret in the World that is literally the fundamental foundation of the training we do. Another book called Think and Grow Rich. Write that down so I don't forget. And the next book is called How to Win Friends and Influence People. Those are what I call the 3 greatest books you could read to change your personal and professional life. I'm just mad I didn't write any of them. But you know what? If you listen to me long enough and you read the books, you'll know I plagiarized them. I've stolen everything. You know what? It's okay to copy in this world. Copy the best, right? So guys like Og Mandino and Dr. Napoleon Hill and Dale Carnegie copy them. But the book, The Greatest Secret in the World by Og Mandino, has 10 secret scrolls. Now, I don't believe there are secrets, just so you guys know. If you watch the movie Kung Fu Panda, at the very end, they get the secret scroll and they open it up. Do you know what's on it? Nothing. And the whole moral of that beautiful Disney movie or cartoon movie. Seriously, I love movies to teach, right? Karate Kid, Rocky, great movies about life and discipline. But in that movie, they fight the whole movie to get to the secret scroll. And the panda opens it up and there's not one word on it. But passing this along to a Ken or to a Hallie is a secret for you, just so you know. Ken started reading the scroll Mark 9. Ken, what changed for you? I've literally watched it, and I'm not taking any credit for this. I am not bragging about this in any way, shape, or form. I want to let you know, I happen to believe that there's somebody else that powers me. You can use your imagination. I believe that there's a stronger force in this world that's stronger than all of us combined. And I just let that lead me, right? So, and I really mean that when it comes to ego and humility. You're looking at a 44-year-old man who's been leveled by life. And you know what I say to that? Good. I'm glad I've gotten the crap kicked out of me. Anybody else with me? You know what? Experiencing those lows in life make you who you are. The lower you are. Just met a woman the other day in the apartment complex. I walk in, I had to renew the lease on the contract. And I'm just talking to her. This broke my heart, by the way. I'm just talking to her, and she looked kind of gloom. And for me, if you guys know, I'm a path changer. So I'm going to change her path, right? Well, this was a hard one. I wanted to invite her today. I will invite her to another event. I said, hey, there's something going on with you, huh? She goes, yeah, there is. And I go, if you don't mind me asking, what's wrong? She goes, my son was just murdered last week. And I was just like, what do you say to that? Like, I just started to cry inside for her. And here she is working this job, probably making $15 an hour or whatever. She goes, yeah, gang violence. The kid told the other kids at school he's going to murder my son over a girlfriend. Came to school. It was a big story in Vegas, just so you know. Came to school that day. After school, everyone else knew this kid was going to get murdered. Everybody but him. Walked outside, and the kid walked up to him. Boom, 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 right on top of him. Just killed him. And I thought about that, and that just literally broke my heart. Now, I'm going to make a move on her as far as changing her path. I'm going to do everything I can to put her around you all. Because you know what? She might need you. She might need this group of people. Would you agree? So I know where she works, like 20 yards from my front door. And I'm going to go in there, and guys, I'm going to introduce her to Üforia, and I'm going to introduce her to PathChangers now. And I'm going to do everything I can to put her around all of you because, you know, I don't know about you, but losing your child, I don't know if there's anything worse. Would you agree? I couldn't even fathom. I don't want to fathom. I don't even really want to talk about it past this. All I know is that was just a heart-wrenching moment. I have no idea why I went there. Maybe just to let you guys know that you just never know. And you also never know who needs somebody. You know, think about this for a second as I just kind of just go off on this tangent with you. Now that I know that her son was murdered, I'm going to do something, not about that, because I can't bring her son back. But I'm going to do something about that relationship to make sure she has people in her corner. You know, one of the things I wanted to do, Hallie, was put a PayPal thing up and raise some money because she said to me, she goes, "It's, you know, I had to pay for all the funeral bills. Who thinks about getting life insurance for a 16-year-old? And right then I'm like, let me go to my friends and see if I can raise some money just to pay her back for what she had to spend to bury her son. So would you guys be into something like that? I want to be a part of people that want to give to things like that, yeah? So let me give you some... On that note, it's really tough to transition. But let me give you some positive things for you. And believe it or not, these are the things that matter the most. And I am going to bring Shane up here because I want you to meet a good friend of mine, new friend of mine named Shane Lamb here momentarily. But I want to give you some things to leave with today. So you left with a gift, right? The book. I didn't buy it for you, but I will if you ask me. The Greatest Secret in the World, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Think You Grow Rich by Dr. Napoleon Hill. Raise your hand real high if you think you know the contents of all three of those books. This is what gets me excited, Hallie. Business and product aside, the fact that I can share this truth with people like Ken and a whole real estate company and with all of you. Now, isn't it crazy that sometimes you take for granted what you know? You take for granted what you know? I've read so many books, I can't remember how many books I've read, but those three are the three that will literally, for this business, for Ken's business, for any business, will change everything for you. That scroll mark 9 is I Will Act Now. See, Ken had to read 3 times a day a 3-page scroll that started out, I will act now, I will act now, I will act now. And it talked about specific things in that scroll that he started to program his subconscious mind to do what? Act now. And I started to watch him change before my eyes. And behind the doors when he wasn't seeing me, I was like, yes, it's working. This stuff works. Well, of course it works. It worked for me. It'll work for you. It'll work for anybody. So write this down. You have to have a definite major purpose in your life. Apply this to whatever business you have today. Now, here's the great thing. Hallie always talks about this. Hallie's doing very well in real estate. She didn't need Üforia. She wants Üforia. She's doing this because she wants to help other people. In the real estate business, Hallie probably sells 50, 60, 100 homes a year. She helps those 50, 60, 100 people. But I got news for you. That woman is a path changer. That is one of the most unbelievable human beings I've ever met in my life. And she will change the lives of thousands, tens of thousands of people with the vehicle of Üforia. That's why she's here today. Yes, she wants better nutrition, but she wants to change JJ's life. That's why she called him. And JJ, when you put an event like this on and me and Hallie get to sit in the back as spectators and watch you do your thing, that's when we high five. We don't high five when you join. We high five when you succeed. And a gentleman like this that I meet at the age of 26 on Facebook Messenger, I sent him probably a 45-second audio message when Amy Show connected me to Ryan, who lives in Tucson, Arizona. And the next morning, he sent me a little video audio clip back, and then we got on the phone, and within 10 minutes of him allowing me to share my story with you, he just said to me, I'm in. Let's go. And I go, well, great. We're having an event on Saturday in a couple days. Why don't you come? Why don't you be at the event? Fully knowing he lived in Tucson. How many of you would have even asked him? Write this down. You don't get what you don't ask for. A lot of you would have said, oh, he lives in Tucson. He's not going to come to Vegas in 2 days. Oh, no. I said, will you come? He said, yes. And I said, good. He said, I'm going to drive down Friday night. I go, good. Call me when you're driving down in case you get tired or lonely or whatever. I'll be here to take your call. He texted me a couple times, and we've been back and forth. But think about that. That invitation. Do you guys get going that extra mile? Do you know there's no traffic jams on the extra mile? Write that down. There are no traffic jams on the extra mile. There's no bumper to bumper at 3 a.m. in Vegas unless you're on the strip. But if you're outside the strip, there ain't not. I want to go the extra mile with Ryan. I'm giving you guys little nuggets, and I'm doing my best to just rack my brain. I have a curriculum for this. Unfortunately, it took Ken 4 months to get to this point, so I can't deliver that. But I want to let you guys know that while I'm building Üforia, I am also going to build PathChangers. And I don't want to take any of you away from Üforia, because if you're working with me in Üforia, you're getting PathChangers, because myself as a leader and Hallie and the people that are a part of this, we're going to teach all this good stuff. I want you to pretend like you got your own Tony Robbins or Jim Rohn or whoever the mentor or speaker or teacher is that you really admire in this world. I want you to know you put me, Hallie, and the leadership team we put together in this city together, we'll blow those guys away by themselves. I got news for you. And that's just me being overly confident. Because you know why I say that? Not because I think we're anything great, but I know she cares about people. I know I care about people. And at the essence of being a path changer, it's not about you. It's about them. So I want to tell you what it means to be a path changer, and then we're going to go through a list of things. It means to unselfishly take the responsibility to change other people's lives, to change their path. It now becomes a responsibility. If I could just turn everyone in the room into a path changer, I gotcha. Because what that means is when I cross the path of, what was your name again, sir? When I cross Juan's path, if I go to Starbucks later or wherever I go, and I meet Juan, now, just so you know, I usually want to attract nice people. The guy with the frown on his face, I don't really attempt, but I'm not saying I won't. I might say, hey, what's with the frown? Because let's face it, misery loves company, and I don't want to be a part of that company. Right? I've been miserable before. You know what stinks? When you're miserable, you just attract miserable people. When you're negative, you just keep attracting negative people. What an ugly place to be. How many have been guilty or stuck there for a while? How about a day? A week? How about a month? How about a year, Hallie? But think about that. When you interacted with people, when you were at the lowest of lows in your life, do you realize that you were poisoning people? So you know what I did? I laid in a bed for 18 hours a day because I knew that when I wasn't in a positive state, that all I was going to do is hurt other people. And I don't know about you, but I'm very empathetic. And I know that my energy rubs off on you. Ken is right. Energy is caught, not taught. That's why you sit in the front seat at every event you go to. I don't care if you bought tickets in the nosebleeds. Get your binoculars, look towards the front row, and look for 2 open seats and go get them. Don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness when the lady comes with the tickets. But don't take a back seat in life. Go get it. You got to take what you want. And I'm sorry, it was $10 for my seats. I happen to believe they gave me the wrong tickets. I wanted to be in the front row. Someone screwed up here. Right? How many people are like me like that? How many are like, oh my God, I can't believe he does that. How embarrassing. I would never go to a game with him. I would never want to be with him when we get kicked out of our seats. There's a lot of people like that, right? I just say, oh wow, these are your seats? No kidding, nosebleeds, huh? I'm gonna kill my ticket broker. I swore he told me front row.
We're seat warmers. We're seat warmers.
Right? That's right. So when you're like that, and I did, anybody ever been through depression? And I want to talk about this. Be proud of depression. Depression's a disease. I don't know if you all realize that. Those of you who have never been depressed, take it from a man who was depressed for about 8 to 10 years. And you know the only thing I think about today? I robbed people of who I am for 8 to 10 years. I could cry in front of all of you to think about that. What a terribly selfish thing to do. That woman made it to work the other day, and her son got murdered. And I'm laying in a bed because my big business fell apart and I'm not making $100,000 a month anymore, you baby. I did. I blew through millions of dollars. Sushi, lots of it. So when I was depressed, I went out for sushi by myself 3 times a day, just so you know. I love sushi. Ever been there? It's expensive. And I went all the time because I had $500,000 in my bank account, so you can go eat sushi whenever you want. But no, seriously, I think about how I robbed people. And I hope today you leave with some great stuff from Ron Williams. I hope you leave with some great stuff from Rod and Hallie. I hope you all that are a part of Üforia really embrace what this is. The training, if you thought we were going to give you training on how to do this business, a monkey can do this business. It's so simple. Hallie knows nothing about technology, and she does the business better than anyone I know. I don't think she still knows what her website is. I mean it. I don't think she knows how to sign somebody up. I can almost guarantee that if I show you my text message strand. I don't think she's ever done it. But really, I don't think, hell, it's not even funny. It's almost embarrassing, but I'm glad you let me embarrass you.
Delegate,
But as far as training with Euphoria, oh my God, I got to train you on how to say hi to somebody. Got 3 minutes? There's your 4-word training manual if you want to switch speeds to Euphoria. Hi, got 3 minutes? I made Hallie a graphic last night that I almost don't want to share with all of you because some of the people in this room are technically not part of my team, and I think I'm going to give you the biggest tip in the world to beat me at my own game. All right, you got me. I'll give it to you. I made a graphic. I'll put it on the Facebook page tonight. It says, got 3 minutes? Question mark. For me, for you, with the Euphoria you. Hey, Amy, got 3 minutes? For me, for you, with the Euphoria logo. I'm going to start sending that to people. Who thinks that might get someone to look? Oh my God, that's all you got to do. You know, the whole secret to network marketing or real estate or any business is getting someone to sit down with you long enough to take a look at what you're offering. Would you agree? Really think about that. So let's go back to PathChangers. Can you get yourself uncomfortable to at least talk to your mom and dad? That should be the easy one. Start with mom and dad, brother, sister, cousins, aunts, uncles, and then anybody else in the world you know. Got 3 minutes? Sound easy? So how do you change your path? Number 1, write down your definite major purpose. You guys have to know this. You got to know what your purpose in life is. And I'm not telling you what you have to do because nobody likes to have anyone tell them what you have to do or you got to do. So let me shift it and write this down. Get used to using the word deserve with people. Deserve. My skill sets in this industry are lethal. What do I mean by that? I'm good. And I'm not going to hide it from all of you. I am good at network marketing. I'm not good at a lot of things, but network marketing, Ryan, I'm good. I'll teach you some things that I learned from a mentor. Now, I wasn't bragging right there. I'm only good because I was mentored by a legend.
And you were coachable.
Yes. And I listened to everything Richard Call said to me. Richard Call, the finest mentor and upline anybody in life, business, or network marketing could ever have. He lives right here in Vegas. I assure all of you, he will get in front of the group when we have 500 to 1,000 people as me just paying him back for teaching me and giving me everything he's got. He turned me into a multi-million-dollar making machine. These little things I teach you, I picked up from him mostly, and then I picked up from authors like Jim Rohn, from Napoleon Hill, from other great authors. But I was a sponge. I just wanted to learn more. Every time somebody got in front of the room like I'm doing with you now, I was always sitting there with the pen and just, oh God, that was a good one. And you know what I did right away? Write this down. Teach what you learn fast. You got to make it yours. Teach to teach. So Ron had some sound bites tonight. I looked at Nicole and I said, Nicole, we're going to watch this back until I get every one of his sound bites down. I mean, I'm serious about this business, just so you know. That dude, I love him. I love his heart. I love the way he interacts with his children, like Hallie mentioned. I mean, you talk about a man who is just someone to look up to. Forget about the money. I was in his house. He's got a big house. Man, I watched this guy invite me to his house on Halloween because he knew I couldn't be with my son. That's the CEO of your company. That was cool. Hallie, that got me. That's when I just said, oh, wait a second. I got somebody here. This is good. So what's your definite major purpose? Anybody feel like they know it? I want to ask one person. Hallie?
Freedom.
Your purpose is freedom. Sure that's not your goal?
Oh, you mean, well,
Now, when I say purpose, you guys know what I mean by purpose. What do I mean by purpose, Darla?
Help people.
What is yours?
To help people.
In what way?
Well, I'm a nurse, so I've helped people mostly with their health.
Okay.
But I want to help people more than just their health.
You want to make a bigger difference.
Yes.
You want to help more people.
Yes.
Ah, I like that.
I want to help people have freedom.
Help people have freedom. Yep.
Help empower people.
Help empower people. So she wants to help them help themselves. Because empowerment means they're going to help themselves. That's really good. So that's teach to teach right there. Yep. Did you say something? No?
I was going to.
Okay. Would you like to? You are not shy, so.
Oh, this coughing. So I want to shift the energy on the planet, and I want people to know that what they're feeling isn't theirs with the stones that I use.
Awesome.
So they can live in their truth.
Can I show your stones? So she gave me these as gifts. These are grounding stones, precious stones. I love them. She gave me one the other day as a gift, and it cracked. And she goes, Michael, that's because your energy is so powerful. You just cracked it. Right? I think she believes that, and I'm going to go along with it because she knows more about stones than I do. So what's your definite major purpose? You need to know that. Number 2, you need to know what your why is. There's a difference here. My definite major purpose is I am a path changer. I live this. Yorgo, do you see me live this in my life? We've been friends for 4 months. Have I lived up to the billing? Am I all show? No go? All right. All I want to do is change people's paths. Spiritually, write this down, spiritually. These are the pillars that I think you all deserve to change. Number 1, spiritually. Now, I don't care if you believe in Buddha. I don't care if you believe in Jesus. I don't care what you believe in. You need to care what you believe in. But you have to be grounded in that spiritual relationship. Am I on your page? Now, I am a Christian, and I'm not going to hide that. But I'm also not going to beat you over the head with my Bible tonight. Maybe next week, but not tonight. But what I'm getting at is religion and politics is such an ugly conversation, isn't it? I respect you for whatever you believe in. Whatever drives you and grounds you, I have a great admiration and respect for it. Whether it's right, wrong, and different, that's not for me to judge. It's not for any of you to judge me either. Bottom line is, if you don't have a spiritual relationship, you are going to crumble. Hallie and I pray every day together. Friends that pray together, stay together. Right? She misses a couple days a week, but I let her. I'm just kidding, I miss them. So spiritually, mentally, what we're doing today is we're focusing on some mental strength. We're doing some personal and professional growth. Mental. Number 3 is emotional. I'm a very emotional person. Anybody else? But I recognize those emotions, and when I'm getting hot under the collar behind the computer because I'm terrible at technology and I'm just frustrated because I didn't ask any of my partners to help me with the meeting. That's me. I got to control my emotion. Luckily, Nicole was right there to kind of squeeze my arm and say, it's going to be okay. But we tend to let our emotions get out of whack, yeah? Number 4, physical. And I will tell you right now that I believe physical might want to head the list. I don't like prioritizing the 7 path changer pillars, but for some reason, when you start working out and feel good physically, doesn't everything just start to fall into place? And when you feel sluggish and your energy's bad, doesn't it fall apart? So I would tell you right up there with spirituality, focus on your temple, your body. It's waiting for you. Once again, Ken, that's why Üforia, brother. I'm putting that good stuff in my body. I got to tell you guys, I feel great on this product. 4 days, I've only taken a half dose because Hallie told me take 3 a day, twice a day. Didn't know that. Finally, she confessed last night, I was wrong, it was 5. I'm like, why did I listen to you in the first place? I've been robbing myself of my nutrition, but I got to tell you, I get sick this month every year. Anybody else get sick every January? Anybody else out there? And it's usually miserable. And when the cough comes, it progressively gets worse. You wake up, you feel like garbage. Üforia for the past 4 days, it's going away. I'm not giving you a product testimonial right now. Don't hear me. I'm saying it's a little bit of a coincidence that 4 days on nutrition, I've been eating bad still, haven't been taking care of myself the way I need to, very rarely sleep as much as the average human being should, and man, my body feels good, Allie. Surprisingly good. Physical. Number 5, relational. Right past your relationship with your God, or whatever your spiritual being is, are the relationships with other people. Being alone sucks, guys. I don't know about you, but I got to do everything I can to not just sit in a place by myself for too long. Anybody else like that?
Yeah, come over to my house.
Yeah, I'll come over to your house. It's right. She lives right down the street.
And then my house.
And okay, it looks like where's my wife? Hold on. Number 6, nutritional. Bingo. Garbage in, garbage out. Put the right stuff in. Simple philosophy. Apple a day. Easy to do, easy not to do. You know what they say? Avocado a day. That's what they say. Nowadays, for your health, Ron talked a little bit about avocados. They say, doctors say, you should eat an avocado a day. And then last on the least, guys, guess what it is? I said spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, relational, nutritional, financial. How many of you think that if you were grounded spiritually, mentally stable, emotionally stable, nutritionally, physically, and relationally stable, do you think you might have some more money? Yeah, of course you would. So I always put financial last on the 7 pillars because it's the least important. Not that you don't need money, but as far as importance, if you get all those 6 pillars in line, your life will change. Money will start to come to you. Your relationships will be stronger. Your network equals your net worth. Write that down if you've never heard that before. Find me someone that's going to be a great realtor or a great network marketer. I'm going to tell you one thing that's in common with both of those people. They have a network. Right? The thing that bothers me about people sometimes is when I meet people in this business or any business and they say, I don't know anybody. We'll change that. Where do I go with that? People are like ants. They're everywhere. I don't know if you noticed. You can't walk around without, in this town, there's like thousands of people everywhere. That's why for me, I freak out because like, who do I talk to first? Where do I go? I got like a disease. I just can't stop meeting new people. My phone has little targets next to everyone I meet that's a brand new person. If you go in my phone, I put a target after the person's name. It's a really bad symbol, but I put a target there. It just means that I want to talk to them or tell them about PathChangers, tell them about Üforia, or tell them about whatever it is, right? I've got hundreds of people. I have a dilemma most people don't have. I know too many people. You do too. I tried to give someone to Hallie the other day. She walks away, she goes, I can't, I got enough people. I can't, Mike, I'm sorry. Like I've never heard anybody in this whole time in network marketing do what she did. Mike, really, I can't handle any more people. I still can't get to my people. I'm like, you are the most rare human being I've ever met in my life. Ken, I got a guy who wants to buy a $500,000. No, Mike, I can't handle any more $500,000 houses. I'm good. Really? So, those are the 7 PathChanger pillars. Now we'll get back on. Why? What is your why? What is your why, Ken Calder? I know it. That's your purpose. What's your why? Isn't it your nephew?
My nephew is my why, yes.
Does your why make you cry?
Of course.
How many people have ever heard that before? Raise your hand. Does your why make you cry? I get to see how many network marketers are actually here. Ron talks about something today that when he first brought it to my attention, I just said, oh, God, that's good. And I stole it right away. He goes, motivation is for the uninspired. Write that down. Motivation is for the uninspired. And he talked about that thing with the flowers, walking 3 miles. And he used me as an example one day in front of 300 people down in Texas. He goes, I don't know if any of you know who Michael Zappia is. He said, but that's a man who's inspired. Because my why is my son. And not just my son, but living life and experiencing life with him like as soon as humanly possible. So people are like, you work so hard. I've never seen someone work so hard. Yeah. What else am I going to do? I don't want to go to the movies. That's not fun for me, Amy. That 2 hours I go to the movie, I might see a great movie, but that's 2 more hours I don't get to be with my kids. So for me, write this down, I have a sense of urgency. Another key point of this training today. I'm going to give you everything here in the next 20 minutes, and then we're done, guys. Urgency. I live every moment of my life like I'm late for the airport and I still didn't pack my suitcase. Do you have a sense of urgency? That is my question for all of you. Do you have a sense of urgency? Now, I know there's some spiritual people in the room. My energy gets attracted to you, Lisa, because you're my new friend, and you're a very interesting friend of mine. In a lot of ways, you remind me of my other really close friend here, Esther. You're someone who normally, you and I, are polar opposites, aren't we? You get that, right? We're very opposites. But you intrigue me because there's things you say and do that are just on the other side of my understanding. And I would normally in my life not be able to communicate with an Esther or a Lisa, people that are very spiritually grounded and stones. I mean, guys, if you'd have walked up to me when I was in Buffalo, New York when I was 20 and said this stone was going to do anything for my body, I would have said, you're the biggest quack on the planet. However, over the years, I've changed. Now, just so you know, as often as I can, write this down, I take my shoes off and I put them in the grass. That's called earthing. It's called earthing and grounding, and these 2 women can talk about it at great length. I'm giving you guys nuggets here, man. These things are the best. You know when I realized earthing worked? When I went to Hawaii, completely miserable and depressed, and I stayed in Kauai for 10 days. I put my cell phone away. It was off. For 10 days, all I did was eat out of my friend's garden named Gabriel Legacy, eat all the fresh fruits and vegetables, and I was at the beach every day, and we were always sandals, flip-flops every day, and I just realized every single day the ground was making me feel better. You're not a quack.
I know.
I can't believe it. But I never thought that about Esther, and I don't think that about Lisa. Why? Because I've grown. The things when I was younger that I had such an opinion on, I don't have so many opinions on other people. I just accept you for who you are. Deirdre, we have a different spiritual belief. I love you. You're one of my closest friends. This woman here I met in the real estate business, and I could really go around the room with many of you. I fell in love with this woman. You've heard me talk about her before. We don't talk for a week. It's like withdrawal, Deirdre. So stop blowing me off and get back to me already. And I don't care if you do Euphoria. I don't care if you do drink. I don't care what you do. I just want you to be in my life. Now, do I want to take you on this ride with me? Oh, you better believe it. Because when you make $100,000 a month or $20,000 a month or $30,000 a month, and if that's something that excites you, I apologize if I'm talking about money and it offends you, but I'll tell you, there ain't nothing like the feeling when that $100,000 comes into your bank account and it was 1 month. And to know that next month, if you didn't lift one finger, make one phone call, that check's still coming in. Who gets a little bit excited about that? Good. I'm going to run with you 4. That's how we're going to do this. So urgency, what sense of urgency? Now is my favorite word in our English language. N-O-W, now. Hallie calls me. She's got an appointment for me. Now. Men, when do you want to talk to him? Now. I figured there's no better time than now. Right? Ryan, now. I had to say to Amy, she's not here today. I mentored her. His sponsor in this program. 16 years ago, I mentored her. I gave her alias, her tagline. I built her up as a marketer. I'm not trying to take credit for her because she's amazing, but she allowed me to kind of mold her and sculpt her as a marketing guru. Now she's known as Internet Amy, and she knows more about the internet than anybody, but she's not making the kind of money she wants to make. Because I will tell you this, the internet is great, but it's just a tool. If you go out there, where's Trenton? Is he here with us still? Or did he leave? So Trenton, you know this. This is an Instagram, social media, Facebook marketing guru. He's my new partner. Him and I already see eye to eye. He's going to open up the floodgates, just so you know. He's going to take my videos, my likeness. I've given him all my passwords. And I said, Trenton, go spread whatever you want to spread around the internet about me and get people to like it so we can get and have a conversation. But he's wise enough to know that once we turn that knob on, we're going to have to shut it off because we can't just sign up 10,000 people in this kind of business. It won't work like that. Here's the good news. If we're shifting back to Euphoria, if you enroll 50 to 100 people, you could potentially be set for life if this company does what it's supposed to do. How many people can enroll 50 to 100 people into DNA nutrition made just for them? Every last one of us. So, now, if you don't think like that, start thinking like that. Hey, if you want the prescription, Ken's got it for you. Buy The Greatest Secret in the World. Go read chapter number 9, the Act Now. I Will Act Now. Read it morning, noon, and night. First thing when you wake up in the morning, last thing before you go to bed, and once at your midtime meal. And that scroll will penetrate your subconscious mind. I don't know how much you guys know about it, but if you read Think and Grow Rich, you'll learn a lot about it. And your subconscious mind is more powerful than your active mind, conscious mind. Did you know that? Your subconscious mind just does stuff. When you take a shower, does anyone think about how they shower? I mean, I'd love to have a camera in your shower. No, I take that back. I guarantee you do the same thing every time you get in the shower. If you guys are like me, it's top down because dirt goes down. I start with the hair. I'll bet you I got the same exact motions, right? We're like robots. Computers are like robots. Everything is the same. Boom. Just like that. Now, program your subconscious mind. Next, goals. This is going to be an epiphany for many of you. It's going to be something you've heard for maybe 30, 40, 50, 60 years. Some of you maybe think you know this. I'm going to challenge most of you right now. You don't. You don't. Write this down. You can't hit a target you can't see. I'm giving you the bullet points of a path changer to be successful in their life financially and in all the other things, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, relationally, financially, nutritionally, relationally, physically. You can't hit a target you can't see. Please raise your hand if you have a notebook or some type of a journal or something at home with your life's goals in them, what you want in the next week, year, month, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Put them up high. Do you read them to yourself? Raise your hand if you've updated that goal list. Good, you guys get it. For 99% of people out there, they have no idea that if you don't write it down, the chances of it happening are actually 0. Because whatever you write down, you can manifest. But if you don't write it down, nothing will happen because you didn't write anything down. So I always like to say to people, JJ, if you don't have a list of goals right now, Jim Rohn said it best. His mentor said to him, Jim, why don't you show me the list of your goals? Jim said, I don't have goals. He said, I bet you I can guess your bank balance within $100. Seriously, it's one of my favorite things from Jim Rohn's mentor, Earl Shelf. I bet you I can guess your bank balance within $100, and he did. And that's when Earl got it. I got to set some goals. Do you have goals? Written down? Financial goals? On your whiteboard? Okay. Good. Next, plan. You have to have, and don't just write down plan, I want you to write down definite plan. You have to have a definite plan. The good news is, start now. Amy, whatever that plan is, just begin today. Well, I know we're going to have meetings on Wednesdays and Saturday. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to talk to this many people. I'm going to schedule this many hours in my day. Ken, same thing. What is your definite plan? The book Think and Grow Rich talks a lot about this. It's okay to change your plan, just so you all know. It's okay to change it. I'm sorry for being behind you guys. So you got to have a definite plan. And who could take a guess at what the last action step is? Action. Who said that? Very good, Nicole. Now here's the key. Key point, massive action. Guys, it's very difficult to build any business slow. Speed is a leader's best friend. Great power phrase for you, start strong, finish strong. Whether it's real estate, doesn't matter your business, especially in network marketing. Why? Because you need to create a frenzy. The reason why I've been working hard for the past 36 days, as Ron mentioned, as this company started, is because I understand this to be true. It's just as easy, in my opinion, to make $1 million as it is $100,000. You know why I know that? Because I've never made just $100,000. I've only made millions or nothing. So when I got into this industry, the personal growth and everything taught me to go, right? And to go now and to go fast and do it with a sense of urgency and have a burning desire to be successful. Burning desire to be successful. You all know what that means? Burning desire means, let me tell you what it means. It means if you go see a movie tonight or if you watch TV tonight, you don't have a burning desire. I'm just going to tell you flat out. If you can watch Desperate Housewives when you're on the ground floor of the next nutritional explosion in this world, or for the realtors here today from Addicted that are working with one of the best brokers in town, if you could just lollygag around, then I'm sorry, Hallie, you just don't have it. Now, some of you might have to go to birthday parties. There's obligations you have because of people in your life. But I'm saying if you want to really, really change your life. Now, here's the key. If you don't want to change your life, keep doing what you're doing. Is that fair? But I'm saying if you want to change it. Now, you're looking at a guy who's made $100,000 a month in network marketing, and it took me 12 months to get there. And if that company would have kept going, guys, I might never ever met all of you. Would you agree timing's everything? Timing is everything. Some people ask me, well, Mike, if you made that much years ago, how come it's taking you so long to do it again? I got to tell you something. Building your own business is difficult. Does anybody agree with being a traditional business owner is not easy? You know, once I got into network marketing and I made $100,000 a month residual income, it made me look at traditional business as, who wants to do that? Most of the people I know that are millionaires in traditional business, you know what? Their businesses own them. And I don't know about you guys, I just like to live in fantasy land. Like Ron talked about being a little kid. That guy's like a big kid. He's 60, by the way. Did you know that? That man who talked to you today is 60 years old. Woo! He looks good for 60. I think his wife's 25. He's got kids. They're 3, 5. I mean, crazy. But I don't know about you guys. I'm the type of person, and I say this to all of you, and I'm going to close here and bring up Shane to kind of wrap things up. I don't know where you are in your life. I never know where I find people. I take a good guess sometimes. I take a stab, I meet somebody, and I kind of talk to them and get to know them and find out where they are. Someone like Sherry Denny, I've known her now for 16 years. She's been wildly successful in this profession, made millions of dollars. She lives 20 yards from my front door, and I'm pissed that I didn't enroll her. because we would have done some damage together, but we're still going to do some damage together. And just so you know, when the tide rises, all the ships rise. So I don't care what boat you're on, we're on the same Üforia boat, yeah? But I don't know where you guys are in your life. And I never know if anything I say makes a damn difference in anybody's life, truthfully. All I know is that my mentor said years ago, he said, Michael, if I push the button, he talked to 250 people that day, and he said, if I push the button of just one of you here today, I did my job. October 19th, 2002, we're going back 16 years and about a month. And he said, if I push the button of just one of you here today, I did my job. And I want to tell all of you right this second that when he said that, I looked around for anyone else who thought it was their button that was pushed, because he said one, I'm very literal, and I knew it was mine. So as I looked around the room and scanned, I saw one guy getting excited like it wasn't your button. He said one button, it was my button. And I fantasized, JJ, now for years to be able to say those words to a room like this. If I push the button of just one of you today to get you to have a definite major purpose, to establish what your why is, to set some goals, have a definite plan, go into massive action, have a sense of urgency, focus on all 7 pillars of your life and be a path changer, take the responsibility to change other people's paths. You see, it's not an option for me. So you know what that means, Hallie? I can't fail. There's no way. You guys get it, right? You can look at me today, you can bet your life on it that I am going to succeed. I am succeeding because it's not an option for me to talk to people and meet people and attempt to change their path. It is a responsibility. And I truly believe, once again, whatever you do in your life, if it is your responsibility to get courageous and go meet new people. And when you meet them, do me a favor, don't pitch them. Make a friend. Make a friend first. I met JJ. We became friends in 2 hours. Hallie's very impatient with me. She said that she probably wanted me to pitch him a lot quicker. I mean, that's how, she wouldn't even let me edify her earlier. But edit JJ. We became friends. You're here because of this relationship and that relationship. Somebody comes to you and car salesman's you in this thing, you getting involved? So what does that mean? It's all about people. People are everything. So what I'm going to do right now is I want to introduce you to Shane. He's going to come up here in a moment. Shane is a successful networker in his past. He built a very large organization with Hallie Gillen. Shane is a very emotional person. He's a very powerful person. Him and his wife were becoming good friends now, and I are becoming good friends now. And I want to be around Shane because it seems like if I opened up his chest cavity, there's just this big old massive heart sitting there. And I'll give you one lesson from a billionaire, and then I'm going to bring him up here. Spend time with people who give you energy. Write it down. I want you all to beware, right? There's behold and beware. Behold, Hallie Gillen's in the building. Beware. No. Beware of the people who are stealing your energy and your dreams. I'm sorry to say this, folks. There are people closest to us that we love more than anything in the world, and all they want to do is have you stay with them. You know what that means? The crab's in the bucket. You're trying to get out of the bucket. Your friends and family and closest friends are going to be the first ones to pull you down. You know who you need in your bucket? Someone like a Shane Lamb who's going to actually push you over the edge and say, you go, and I'll be over the top in a few minutes, Mike. So guys, give it up for Shane Lamb.
Well, everybody had a great day? Yeah. I guess I'm going home tonight to watch a movie and some TV show. But, no, I'm just kidding. I got in a marketing business about 10 years ago with Hallie. And to be honest with you, by the time I got in, I was so far down from Hallie, I couldn't see that she was a woman. And if you can't see that Hallie's a girl, you're a long ways away. So anyway, I saw this on November 2nd at Hallie's house. And so for 10 years, I waited for I waited for Hallie to get a hold of me because I knew she would.
You make me cry, Shane.
Look, she texted me and said, "Hey, Shane and Carol," that's my wife, Carol. She said, "I got something that you're gonna need to see." And I knew it was gonna be good because that's who Hallie is. I mean, Hallie she's not stupid. She doesn't have time for stupid. She just doesn't. You know, she's busy. She's got things going on in her life. But I knew that day would come. And sorry. I said to my wife, I said, well, this is it. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be good. Seriously, I knew it. I knew it was going to be good. And I watched Hallie on Facebook, and she was busy for a couple of weeks. She went on a trip. She went down to see her parents. And the whole time I'm like, flip, man, when's she going to get back with me? I want to see this. I was kind of ticked. And so she finally got back to me, gave me an address. I didn't know where was her house. I just went to the address, and it was her house. Walk in, Rod was there, Burnaby, some other people. I go in the backyard, and Hallie and I are talking. And here comes Ron Williams. Well, I'd never met Ron, didn't know who he was. I thought he was a neighbor. I thought he was pissed off at the noise or something. No, seriously, because he was just like today. He had his hat on backwards, had an Adidas jacket, zipped up, jeans, and tennis shoes. I didn't know he was there to show the presentation. His wife was there, his 2 kids. I was like, oh, maybe this guy's mad. So she introduces me, Ron, Shane, shake his hand. I leave, they're chatting. I go sit on the couch, and Hallie gets up, introduces Mike. First time I saw Mike, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. This is going to be good. So Ron comes up, and he's carrying a chair. Like, this is different. Brings his own chair up, sits down. He says, I just want to sit down. I was like, wow, that's cool. So I'm on the couch about 2 feet away from this guy, and he tells the story, shows the video, and I'm like, wow, this is going to be freaking awesome. And it just started. Do you realize that? Do you get that? Because if you don't, please fall down, bump your head, do something, but get it. Do you know that right now there's 53 people in this in California? Do you know that there's 18 people in California? That's more than that. Do you get it? There's 38 million people in California. There's 53 people that are in this. Do you understand that? Yeah. Got a lady in the other day in Ohio. She is Ohio. She is Ohio. Do you get that? Folks, this is something to get excited about. Financially, this will change your life. No joke. Change your life. So, if you're new, go home, sign up, get in. Plug into the deal, get with the meetings with whoever brought you and with Mike and Hallie, and go for an incredible, absolute, phenomenal ride. Because me personally, in 2 years, I'm going to be done. I know I won't look back.
Shane, how's your retirement going?
Really good. I have none. I have none, folks. I'm not even kidding. I don't. My wife she'll back me up. She works for the school district. And she'll have a little, about $8, maybe $8.50, but nothing I can be proud of, nothing we can do anything with. And I have nothing. I make teeth for dentists. I'll be dead at a bench if I don't do something. So let me tell you something. When you're talking to people about this, by all means, when you get done with the euphoria part of it, say, by the way, there's an incredible business involved if you're interested. Because there is. You think these guys aren't going to make millions of dollars? You're kidding yourself.
That's PathChangers. That's it. I mean, think of how good you feel right now. You know, what if you don't call him? That's crazy to me. So where do we go from here? Guys, in a month on January 12th, I hope you wrote it down. We're going to be right back here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I don't know how serious you guys are taking that. I'm taking it as serious as a heart attack. I know short-term pain leads to long-term gain. Write that down. Short-term pain leads to long-term gain. There is nothing like a network marketing company that has a unique product whose time has come at the right time in your life to do a darn thing about it. And to be one of the only 2,000 people in the world that know about Üforia, and now you guys are exposed to PathChangers. I got a dual movement that I'm going to be doing personally, but I think we got the opportunity of a lifetime. So, Hallie, you always tell me, Mike, where are we going next? So, where do we go from here next? Obviously, we're not going to rent this ballroom out. Do you want to come up? Yep. Yeah.
So first of all, thank you guys all for sticking it out, because it's amazing how many people will leave because they're hungry and then be hungry for the rest of their life. So you really need to look around at this group, because this is the group that understands where the value really is. So I just wanted to say that. And Michael, you've done fantastic. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for everything that you do, and for all your heart and all your love and all your passion, and for figuring out all this technology, because you know I got no help for you over here. So sorry. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'm hungry too. So I'm not going to keep you long. I just wanted to say this. In 2005, December, I was told about a company called World Ventures. And it was in this stage. It wasn't a company yet. They basically told me if I could get 20 people that wanted to participate, I would get to be part of this, special group. So, you throw a challenge up to somebody like me, that's a pretty good way to get me to do something, because my ego won't allow me not to do it. So, now you know how to manipulate me, right? But the reason I'm saying that to you is what I didn't know then is anything about network marketing. I just knew challenge, I knew take trips, that would be fun. Duncan and I had a great time. We all did some fun stuff. However, when I went to that first event, my regret was that I wasn't there with enough people. Because everybody that came out of that room had the vision and the belief that sets the fire, that fuels the flame long term. Because what will happen in this game is whoever has the biggest belief wins. And your belief is built one event, one conversation, one experience at a time. And when you get to go see a whole weekend, and you see people that are flying from Canada and from every other state in the country, and how many people go to what length and how much money they spend and how much they give up to be there, and you realize you had to drive down the street, and everybody you know lives around the corner, and we don't need to get hotel rooms, and we don't need plane tickets. When he said we have the home field advantage, listen to me and listen good. The biggest Christmas gift you can give somebody is hope, financial future, and health. Those three things can, beyond change lives. They can set new family legacies. And this company is a legacy company. You can see that man didn't come out of retirement to not spend time with his kids for no reason. I mean, did you get that? Because I really got that. So what I'm going to caution you not to do is get lazy over Christmas and forget to tell somebody you love how important this is, what's happening and how important it is. Because I can tell you this, I didn't realize that Shane was waiting for me to call him. I got barraged when I stopped doing World Ventures. For the last 9 years, I had people send me product to my house, phone calls, all kinds of stuff. And I kept saying no. I even said no to Michael a couple times. I didn't say no. I said, I'll buy the product and I'll try it. But I wasn't excited enough to tell too many people. I told my parents. My poor parents bought everything that you ever did, by the way. They're wonderful supporters. But I want to leave you with these three thoughts. Number one, it's the gift you give if you tell somebody. So you want to go give a gift for Christmas? Give somebody a way to change their life or their health. That's the biggest gift you can give them. But number two, don't sell them. Just tell them. Tell them what you saw, tell them what you feel, and ask them if they would at least come check it out with you. Or at least start on the product so you can get some honest testimonials from people who will tell you the truth. Because there's going to be some people in your life that are just going to do just that, and that's it. And that's okay. 40-to-1 customer ratio, that's amazing. So marching orders, make a list. Okay, hear me loud. Your list needs to consist of 3 groups. Your first group is the people you love the most. Because God forbid you leave somebody you love the most out. The second group is the most influential people you know, people who other people listen to. Why? Because those people can get masses to do things. And then the last group is basically everybody that you like within 5 feet of you. I'm not kidding, but you need to like them. If they're constantly negative, if they're always whining, if they look at the glass half empty, they are not our people. We can change them later. Don't bring them now. We don't have time for that. I'm not joking. I'm totally serious. I will go back for my negative friends later. But I can't allow them to sink my ship now because I have people whose lives are depending on me. I look at this like it's life and death. Because for some people it is. Because God forbid you don't call them and they have a car accident and they don't have insurance because they didn't talk to Nicole and they don't have a way to pay for it. And you could have given them a vehicle to pay for it. Do you know in this comp plan you can sponsor one person and if that person goes insanely crazy, you get paid anyway? It's not like the other businesses. So don't forget anybody you care about. Don't forget anybody that you think, if you've ever met somebody who is fantastically successful and you don't tell them because you're scared, bring one of us with you. We're not scared. And that's the beauty of this business. You can go get a whale to talk to a whale and you can just stand there and smile and you get paid the same. It's a beautiful thing. It's called leverage. So I'm going to give you this. Write your list. Be bold about it. Talk to the person who got you in this business. Bug the shit out of them. It is okay. I'm giving you permission to bug the shit out of whoever told you it is their job to be there for you. And sorry if I said the S word, but I am a little hungry. But I just want to tell you that you're not really hurting anybody with what you say. It's what you don't say that hurts the most. So don't be that way with anybody that you care about. All right? We love you. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time. Michael, any parting words that you want to say?
Yeah, to keep us all on the same page, Monday night is our leadership meeting with the team that we put together. It's called Üforia Legacy. Just if you guys can just go to Üforia Legacy and like that page, you'll see an advertisement for a 6 o'clock call, and we all get on there for a leadership and a training, and at that time we can put you all on the same page if you don't get on the same page before then. Super simple.
If you're not on Facebook and you don't have a computer, all you need is a phone number. So we're going to make sure you have the phone number. For anybody that's non-techie, don't stress. It's a phone number you call and you listen. That's it. Okay, so if you need that information, stick around. We'll get it for you. If you are on Facebook, Üforia Legacy is one of the pages that you want to be on. Any of the other ones you want to say?
Zap U.
Zap U.
ZAPP space the letter U. Zap U. Like it on Facebook. That's where I put out a ton of video, ton of content, me prospecting, me just going crazy, and you guys all thinking I'm nuts, but that's okay. I'm just trying to teach as much as I can. Zap U is the other one. And then the person who brought you here knows the rest of the information, so we got a pretty good system in place.
All right, so if we don't see you before Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah. We're in that right now. Happy Kwanzaa if you celebrate that. God bless you all. Have a fantastic day. Thank you, Michael.
Actually, I call myself one of the lucky ones because I was with a previous company that did the DNA, and things happen and it was not the right timing, and I got a call from one of the top leaders that was with me in the company before, Tina Malsom, I have to say her name, and I was so excited, and it literally within seconds brought me to tears because we all went off onto different things, and before I knew it, I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm at home. Look at, I'm about ready to do it again. I feel like I'm at home. And I have 26 years of health and wellness background. I've been in this industry for almost 3 decades. And, we're always out there searching. We know nothing really lasts forever. But then when I found out Ron Williams was part of this with Terry LaCour, oh my gosh, and Mike Smith, I said, I hate using this, but it is an absolute no-brainer that with those guys and their experience, the people that I've talked to already say, wait a second, as soon as you said DNA and you said Ron Williams, I was in. Shut up, sign me up. So it's been rather easy for me. I know it won't be for some people because they have to learn everything, or their red personalities, or whatever it is, they're green, they need to investigate everything. Listen to the people that have done it before, find out how simple this is, And thank God for 23andMe and Ancestry.com, because way back 7 years ago, it was hard to get people to swab. Now, because of those companies, it's made it ridiculously easy, because it doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, I'll take a swabbing, no problem. And to be able to find out what's specifically in your DNA, not somebody else's, but in yours, to get away from all that blind nutrition that's in your cupboards, this is the way to do it, folks. Be able to take that swabbing, find out what your specific SNPs, your SNPs of genes that you need to create a better you. It's right here for you, right here with Üforia.
Okay, so my name is Yesenia. I am originally from California, but I do reside in Phoenix, Arizona. I didn't necessarily have any expectations coming in. It was really refreshing though when I came in and saw how passionate everybody was. For a favorite speaker, I think all of them were very impactful. It was nice to see somebody that was very passionate, somebody that was very emotional, and somebody that was very personable. I felt like it touched every single one of those emotions. So I can't necessarily pick one favorite. The biggest one thing that stuck out to me was to know your definitive major purpose. For the definitive major purpose, it made me think a little bit. It made me think a lot, actually, and I was able to come up with my definitive major purpose. And I kind of guess I already knew. My definitive purpose is to teach self-love. I think it's so important to teach self-love from a very young age, so that way when we do turn or grow our kids into adults, they're able to carry that with them. Yes, I'll be coming for the January 12th. Be here for that. You know what, I would definitely recommend this event to anybody that is starting out their business, has always wanted to have financial freedom, and also health. So anybody that wants to be healthy, I would definitely recommend this to them.
Yeah, hey, my name's Rockin' Dave. I'm here in Las Vegas. I've been here for about 20 years, and it's just a great opportunity to be here in Las Vegas, and it's just a great time meeting a lot of people. I found out from Michael Zappia. I've known him for years and years, and in his last business, I saw him explode with Hello World, and with this, I knew that once I saw this, that it was the way to go. So I like the culture. Everybody's. It's more like a family. It's a group of people. We're all together, trying to help each other and grow as financially and better health and better wealth, everything. It's just an amazing feeling to actually belong, be a part of Üforia. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, anybody that's looking to better life physically and financially, even spiritually, there's just great people that are here. It's just a fun place to hang out, a great group of people. So it's awesome.
Today's event was incredible. I want to thank you, Ron Williams, Candy Williams, for bringing down all these beautiful Üforia signs. And I want to thank everybody out there who made this day really, really special. This was something that a lot of people put a lot of work into, and I just appreciate each and every one of you for being who you are and being a part of this team. I think one day we're going to look back on this event and say, I remember when I was at the pre-launch in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Tuscany Hotel and Casino. So Ron, once again, thank you for everything you've done for us, for this team, for this family. We appreciate you, and Vegas will be well represented in January 12th, 2019. We're excited. The thing that surprised me the most about the event is, even though things were out of control because I decided to play Superman and try and do the whole event myself, the energy in the room just stayed constant for over 4 hours. Everyone was blown away by the information about Üforia, taken back by the CEO, Ron Williams, and just how laid back and matter of fact you are, Ron, and how beautiful of a person you are. And even the meeting after meeting, the training was just really heartfelt. So it was just beautiful. We're just going to tighten up the screws here in Vegas in the future. We're going to get the right people doing the audio, the visual, the setup, and all the things that they do well. That's what a team does. And we'll just get these events running like clockwork so we can keep having them month after month or regional, quarterly after quarterly to make it smoother. But all things considered, everyone felt the heart of the company, heart of the owner, heart of the leaders, and the heart of all the individuals in the room that are going to step up as leaders. So it was what it was, and it was beautiful.